Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, there we go. Hi. I hope you guys are doing well. How's my mic? I fucked with my in true and honest, mad at the internet tradition. I have fucked with my audio settings at the very last second to ensure that my stream has maximum potential for hilarity as everything fucking breaks. Sounds fine. Great. Wonderful. Rumble is fucked. It's working. I fixed that before I went live. Cool. Okay, so let's start by talking about David Lynch, of course. He died. Had a serious cult following in terms of being a movie director and TV show director, because I suppose he's most famous for Twin Peaks at this point and not his movies. Where's my comment? There we go. Play this. And if From what I remember, he did a video like every day, or like, God fucking damn it! Why is it playing Steven Universe? Why is it doing this to me? He did like a video like every day or every Friday or something, and it was just like a 30-second long video where he like talked about a number. I remember seeing this. He's a very weird person, very ahead of his time in terms of internet content, and it's a very strange time for him to die because last weekend I was streaming Life is Strange, and I was, of course, becoming delirious with boredom, as I do when I play these fucking games. So I can't remember what happened. I think someone dies or someone like wants to die. Oh yeah, someone is like considering dying, and I was trying to encourage them to die. So I ended up I did this. In heaven, everything is fine in heaven.
Now that I've traveled to
everything
back,
is fine.
I can finally see what's going on with Gwen.
I'm back.
Stuff,
Jesus,
and I have
Girl
mine.
first.
Sorry.
You just
That is a song, a very weird song from the movie Eraserhead, which I would actually highly recommend. It's a very good movie. It's a very avant-garde film. It's kind of like what you would consider abstract art, but it's not like pretentious or retarded. It makes sense. You just have to like what's presented is just very strange. So I would actually recommend Eraserhead. That's my favorite thing that he made. I think I watched Twin Peaks and I didn't like it. I don't know if I've ever actually watched anything else by him besides Eraserhead, but I did like Eraserhead. Sorry, never hire me to do your eulogy because I'm a fuck up. However, I will say this: someone should have posted this image in the Math Internet thread, and I like this the most. Perhaps this picture. I assume these quotes are accurate. I'm told by a trusted source that this is a real quote attributed to Stephen Lynch, where he says, "I love to eat cheese. And I continue to eat cheese." So he's 78 years old. Proof that cheese eaters reign supreme and live long, prosperous lives, chat. Not that it needed any more demonstration than what was already demonstrated, but to completely seal the deal, there you go. So on that note, I have some good news. For once, if you can even believe it, I actually have something positive to say. We mailed this in on Monday. Actually on Saturday, I want to say, maybe even Friday afternoon, but it was arrived and stamped through by Wednesday, and of course that is the Articles of Incorporation for the United States Internet Preservation Society, incorporated in the fine state of South Dakota, mostly because they don't have any kind of state level requirements for nonprofit reporting. It doesn't really matter where it's incorporated because, of course, we will operate on the federal level across state lines for the purposes of preserving the internet, as stated here in the purpose. This is a scan because we literally physically mailed these in part because I'm heavily autistic, chat, and when we incorporate these, we had to file an addendum. And on that addendum, because the main incorporation document for South Dakota is a boilerplate template. And I realized that the boilerplate template and the addendum document included a lot of cross-contamination and repeated information. So I suggested to Hardin that perhaps we should just mail in a single article of incorporation and not one with an addendum. And he said that's fine, but you have to mail it in. So since we were already mailing it in, I said, you know what? I should change the font. So I am probably the only person in the history of the world to use Quattrocento, the obvious body font of the Kiwi Farms, in a legal document. But you know what? I just wanted to grant me this one thing. I asked, grant me this one thing. I would like to use my preferred font on this document. So I did. The main thing, purpose. The corporation will strengthen, expand, and defend digital rights for online consumers and services in ways that preserve the American way of life. I took a lot of inspiration from this from Apex purpose, because I looked around and see, like, okay, how do you do it? How do you do it right? And that's what I came up with. I have already applied for an employer identification number so that we can pay our taxes if we need to pay taxes. Generally, as a nonprofit, you don't pay taxes, but there are certain circumstances we may encounter where I have to, even if we don't pay taxes, you still have to file how you pay people and stuff with W-2s, so you need an EIN, and having an EIN means we can now apply for nonprofit status. We picked a 501c3 instead of a 501c4, as I may have mentioned in the past, because a 501c3, as a completely nonprofit entity, which can be deducted on your taxes, has one really big sticking point that I deliberated on for quite a while and decided that the trade-off wouldn't be worth it. A 501c3 can never lobby. It can never try to influence politics. It can write opinion pieces. It can file, I forget what you call those documents, where you file with the Supreme Court, like a supporting statement. It's a Latin word that literally means friend of the court. You can do that, but you can't actually talk to any politicians or anything of the sort. And I feel like I want to do that. I want to lobby. I want to have teeth. I want to actually try to accomplish things and not just sit on Twitter or on a blog that nobody fucking reads, seething about how bad everything's getting fucked over. And if that means that I sacrifice some of your money to the IRS, that is a loss I am willing to take. But no, most people aren't going to itemize their taxes anyway. I feel like it's the appropriate course of action. So the other thing worth mentioning is that there are 3 people who act as incorporators. I'll just scroll down to the bottom here and show the signature. I think that's more interesting. I did practice my signature before signing it so that I would not be relentlessly bullied for being Dadua Man again. So I did practice this time so that my scribbles are more attractive. So Matthew Hardin, of course, my long-term attorney who has represented me in many different issues and provides routine legal input on certain things. Me, the star that I am, shining so brightly, the source of all positive polyism in this sector. And then someone named Kevin Crawley, who I will introduce at a later date. It's a very serendipitous thing. It's good for me, bad for him. He's very well aware of this. But I feel like we should wait until everything is smoothed out and we're actually soft launching before I talk about how my pick for third chair came about. Because it is an interesting story, chat. I am not left-handed. Here's the stamp. Here we go. Where's the signature from? Monet Johnson. Surprisingly, not a black woman. I thought for sure she would be. State of South Dakota, Office of the Secretary of State, signed by the Secretary of State. There we go. All done, chat. Next step is, as I mentioned, the IRS. And in that meantime, because I believe it takes several months to accomplish that nonprofit status, we're going to be setting up a blog We've already got the GitHub organization going up. I moved over the private forum software repo from my account to that account. I moved over the Stream Nexus. Part of the scope of the nonprofit will be developing nonprofit tools that benefit, of course, the American way of life on the internet. And I believe that ways to bypass single platform limitations is in that scope. And hosting your own website and having a forum with free software is also within that scope. Ta-da! I thought I was playing around. You thought I wasn't serious. There's no way this Josh guy is super serious about all this stuff. Surprise! I am. I am very serious. I'm a serious person. Don't ever doubt me. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, chat. Might take me 2 years, but I'm going to do it. Okay, cool. Next, as we ease into the schmeat of the stream, Runescape, a topic near and dear to my heart, has done something genuinely unconscionable. From my understanding, Runescape was bought out by some kind of like Chinese investment corporation. So now they've changed their subscription plan. Once upon a time, you paid Runescape or Jagex $5 a month. It was $5 when I first started subscribing to Runescape for a monthly subscription. And now I think they've increased it like every 2 or 3 years by another $1. And now they have fucked up their subscription plan completely. For the low price of $11 a month, you get either RuneScape, old school RuneScape, or RuneScape 3. So you no longer get both. And it includes ads. You'll play the game, and as you're paying for the privilege of playing a game, they will show you ads in the game. And if you actually want to play both, or if you just want more characters, or perhaps you don't want to see fucking ads, it is $18 a month. And they even offer you, they dare to offer you an upsell for 8 characters, character name reservations, enhanced player support, and a pause membership option. For that extraordinary luxury, you get $32.50 a month. Crazy, chat. I've already unsubscribed. I can't remember even what it was. They removed gender from the game. They put in like male, female, or whatever. Like, I can't even imagine. Any game that thinks that playing their game is so worthless that you can watch ads while doing it, that's like, it reminds me of those old games that were like made in Flash, like Adventure Quest. That was like a Flash game, like a Shockwave Flash game that was like a shitty RuneScape, and it was completely 2D, and that was like free, and you could watch ads while playing it. Fucking garbage. I'm unsubscribing. This is too far. Don't you just want to watch ads, bro? What would they even show you? How can they? Oh, you know what? One of these things even this isn't even the one that I was looking at before. Oh, you know what it was? They're surveying these. These are like propositions, and there's several different pages. One of the other proposed subscription services was that you could choose to have a Adventure Quest. You could choose to have like a subscription only for your phone. So if you're playing the game on your phone, then you can like choose like a $8 phone only, old school RuneScape only with ads, and save $5 a month by watching ads and only playing on your phone. Absolute travesty. Everything that I ever enjoyed must be completely ruined and tuned out and advertised out. That's like a double fuck you to me personally. Nobody else gives a shit, just me. Okay. A little bit of an update. The Zuck who came out and said, "Love Master Trump. Love Master Trump. I love you, Mr. Trump, and I love the America First movement. I love making America again great again, Master Trump. What can I do to make Facebook relevant again in this free speech era?" Well, the New York Times wrote on this, and there's one thing about their whining about how Zuckerberg is pandering to the far right that's particularly fascinating, and I think you guys might. Is he literally? I thought it said it's Zuck time or something. I can't tell what that says. It definitely says Zuck. What the fuck does it say? Nut Zuck? Halt Nift? Is that German? Is this Dutch? What is this saying? I didn't even notice. Anyways, this is the best part. The same day at Meta's offices in Silicon Valley, Texas, New York, facility managers were instructed to remove tampons from men's bathrooms, which the company had provided for non-binary and transgender employees who use the men's restroom and who may have required sanitary pads, two employees said. Zuckerberg, in his offices, has been, he is a billionaire, but I assume that these two things are true. At certain points in time, Zuckerberg is required to go to his offices. And at certain points of time, while conducting business in his offices, he must go to the bathroom. And during those trips to the bathroom, for years, Zuckerberg has noticed that there are tampon dispensers in the men's restroom. And this is something that I think I can relate to him on a human level, where you just see that every time, every day he goes to poo in his own office building, he's looking at a sanitary pad dispenser as he's washing his hands and he's thinking, that's fucking retarded. That's actually really fucking stupid. So on day one, he actually had a legitimate grievance that he brought to his human resource officers. And he says, "You got to go get a drill, and you got to get that shit out of the fucking bathroom. I'm sick of looking at it." That's like a genuine, that's like a genuine human moment from the Zuck. I gotta admit, very funny. Next. So, the United States of America said, hey, TikTok's not allowed to data mine our citizens. That's our job. We're supposed to data mine everybody else's citizens, and they're not supposed to get any of our information. So they got really mad that TikTok, which is owned by Tencent, which is owned in China, in part by the Communist Party directly, was getting tons of information about American citizens, and decided that enough is enough. So they decided that either Tencent in the US would be owned by an American company, or it would close by a certain date. I believe this weekend? So with the imminent closure of TikTok upcoming, many of the users started to panic and said, oh my gosh, we need a TikTok replacement. And not wanting to give their data to an American company because, I kind of agree with that. I don't care what China knows about me. I do care what the United States knows about me. They thought we need to find another Chinese TikTok to post on. And what they found is a website called, I think this guy, here we go, Xiaohongshu, which means Little Red Book. And this is actually a direct reference to the Little Red Book of Mao Zedong, the Communist Party manifesto. And so it is, strictly speaking, a pro-communist Chinese Instagram clone. But it does have, on top of Instagram picture stuff, it has little videos like TikTok. So a bunch of people said, fuck you, we're going to go and move to Chinese Instagram, and we're going to TikTok there. But what they didn't know is that Chinese people hate everything that they stand for. Some things that I have used Xiaohongshu. It may come as a surprise to you that I have independently, before it was cool, downloaded this app, set up an account on it, and played around. It has a lot of silver content, and it has a lot of gun content, surprisingly. I think that the gun content is actually sponsored by the People's Liberation Army, because it's like influencers who work directly with the PLA to get access to like contemporary assault rifles. They're like, this is the new PLA. AK model, and they're like firing it on ranges and doing shit with military equipment. That's actually kind of cool. You have like silver stackers, and it's really cool because they're like, it's interesting because you would expect one of the things that Red Book would ban would be like anything about prior governments, but there's actually a lot of content about like pre-communist China that you would see, like coins with faces of people that are considered or would have been considered during the revolution to be counter-revolutionary, and they're posting about that, and that's cool to look at the silver coins. And I was trying to find the source of a video in particular. That's why I got into it for a little bit. And then I noticed while using it, there's not very many sexy ladies on this thing. Usually, if you use a social media site, you're basically vicariously exposed to softcore pornography almost instantly. Like, it's unreal how many just OnlyFans whores just get suggested to me on X, like just scrolling around. It's a little bit insulting. Uh, even though my policy is if I see anyone who's like has like a not like a crossed out 18 in their name, I just ban them. It's just like that's just what American social media is. In Little Red Book, I didn't notice any of that. Like there was like lifestyle posts, but there wasn't like just obvious coon bait. And that's one of the first things that the TikTok people notice is that they have strict rules on cleavage. It's kind of like in high school. You can only show this much thigh. You can't show this much cleavage. You can't wear this. So they're pretty strict on that, and you get dinged if you try to do like sexy booty like shake like what's it called, twerking. You can't twerk on Little Red Book. And people are finding that out the hard way by getting banned. Another thing that you can't talk about is anything related to the LGBTQIP+. None whatsoever. You can't talk about being gay. You can't talk about being a lesbian. You can't talk about being queer or non-binary. They straight up just fucking ban you. So, surprise, a lot of the TikTok people are like, oh, that's really problematic. Like, no shit, it's a foreign country's application. Go fuck yourself. And, oh, and then the Chinese people are just straight up like insulting them. There's a video that I saw that made me. Is this it?
Hello, a big welcome for my refugee friends. Welcome to Red Note. I feel so happy and I'm really
This wasn't the one that's based.
reminds me the quotes carved on Tiananmen Square. The quotes are from our spiritual leader, Chairman Mao, the founder of the country. The quote one is, "Long live the People's Republic of China," and the second one is, "Long live the great unity of people from the world." And the great unity might really happens. Like this seems like a dream is going to come true.
Well, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but when I was, I probably have mentioned this a million times. When I was with the 8chan people in the Philippines, Ron's wife, Ron, who I think is QAnon, Ron's wife is Chinese, and she's not just Chinese, she's like an ultra pro CCP Chinese person. And I showed her that video of the black guy singing like Chinese songs, and she was like really enthralled with this. She said that his pronunciations were excellent, his singing was excellent. Like she was like super psyched to see like this African guy like dressed up in like PLA cosplay singing communist songs. So I think they're very flattered by that kind of thing. There was a guy though that I saw. Someone sent it to me, and it was just like, "Welcome to China. No more gay shit ever. You can be gay. We just no more gay shit ever." If I see his face, I will immediately know. Oh, is she salty? I should scan through this. I didn't even think about this. Dude, imagine seeing this. Imagine like being Chinese and seeing this and like, "Hello, I'm from America. I'm non-binary." Where's the guy? I'm gonna. Fuck. Someone sent it to me, I think on the Mad the Internet thread. I'm never going to be able to find it. It just occurred to me as an afterthought. Oh well. Who do you think should buy TikTok? Like, if out of all the technocrat billionaires in the world, I could do TikTok. Give me TikTok. If they're going to like seize it, they should donate it to a nonprofit. I have one in mind, chat. I think I could do it. I could shape it up. I could make something really good out of it. I just passed it? I don't think so. What was this guy?
Any political rights out here. We hate the shit. There's only two gender out here. Male and female. If you are gay, just be gay. Don't talk about you're gay. We all know you're gay. Just don't talk about it. If you're a lesbian, you cool. You cool. If you're LGBTQ, whatever, keep it that shit to yourself. There's no gay marriage out here. That's against the law. So keep it that shit to yourself. Don't swing that shit to someone else's daughter or son. All right?
He didn't choose the music. This is like a TikTok American. TikTok American. That sounds like a hyphenated word, like African American. It's like a euphemism. Basketball American. Yeah, those are some TikTok Americans. You gotta watch out for those motherfuckers. They make you gay. They'll fuck your dog. They'll start twerking inappropriately for like a music video. You gotta watch out for those. Cool. Let's see. Taylor Lorenz is joining. Okay, cool. Long live China. Wonderful. Dude, I remember when I started talking about China many years ago. If you're only like a recent listener, you don't know. I've been talking about China for years. Because China was like this really big thing that nobody in the US really thought about. Like, that's just where our shit comes from. And then anytime anyone talked about China more seriously, like, those bugmen, they can't do anything but steal from the white man. And that was always my big gripe. It was like, conservatives would just be like, yeah, them Chanks, they can't do nothing but steal from the white man. Ain't nothing come from China since gunpowder, and we do it better these days. Anyways, all they can do is steal from the white man. And then the liberals look at China and says, all those Chinese people can do is like steal from American corporations. They can't do anything on themselves. They're just like totally like enslaved by like American supremacy. It's like how it's a real country. It's got like 1 billion people in it. They're very educated. They got a lot of money these days, you know? And when I talked about it, people would say, oh, Josh loves China. He simped for China. And my position has always been like, no, I don't simp for China. I'm just saying it's a big country. It has a lot of money and resources. And you shouldn't like hand wave it away as a non-threat, because it is very much a threat. And it is playing much smarter than both the United States and Russia, and maybe even the European Union at this point. So, not maybe even, definitely. So, I don't know. And now it's like people agree with me, and then now you see what simping looks like. You got Taylor Lorenz like, ho ho, Mr. Xi Jinping, you are so handsome. Ho ho, you are so tall and sexy, Mr. Xi Jinping. Oh. Very strange times. Fuck North Korea. So coming out in defense, we got a true conservative trad woman here, Eugenia Cooney, begging Donald Trump to do the right thing and to save TikTok. There's another one.
No, he isn't, Lex. That's actually another administration and the government, like, right now. I don't know what's happening, but no. When Trump comes in, he's talked about wanting to save TikTok, and hopefully he will. Hopefully he will if things come to that point, but hopefully they won't even come to that point. Hopefully everything will be okay. Hopefully somebody in the government, like, wakes up and stops all this craziness happening in this country right now. Gotta hope for that, guys. And guys, people that wanted to see Hello Kitty, here's the
You know, it makes sense to me that Eugenia would be a secret conservative. Something about her and her personality really makes me think that she would support the government tightening its belt, cutting the fat. I just came up with that and I felt it was super, super clever. I'm very smug about that. Anyways, she's supporting the Americanization of TikTok. And I'm wondering if Elon Musk, I think, put in a bid for TikTok. What would it be called? He would definitely rename it to something stupid. Would he call it like Zigzag? Would he just call it like X Shorts? X Vids? I think that... I think that... Okay, speaking of the orange Hitler, or whatever his name is, he has assembled a very bizarre team of superheroes to tackle a very troubled Hollywood, including Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and John Voight. John Voight. John Voight. Why is that name so familiar, chat? John Voight. Could it be? Did Mr. Nubbly predict that? John Voight is the last great American actor. He needs to be in more movies. Baby Geniuses 2 was a fucking riot. I watch it every night, and John Voight carries the whole franchise. Think about it. He was in Baby Geniuses 3. This was the end of the fucking world, the final page. Just an incomprehensible diatribe about John Voight. And now John Voight is officially part of the Trump transition team as the Hollywood panel, his ambassador to Hollywood. How is this possible, Chad? Are we all going to be wearing MAGA spandex suits with penis cutouts here shortly? Is that in the cards? It might be. What does Mr. Nubbly know? I don't fucking know. He knows something. I don't trust them. I don't trust him, man. Okay, and then this guy, Darren Bell, this horrific looking mutt, just absolutely jaw-droppingly hideous. An artist, I believe, for the Washington Post, as it says, a cartoonist who made very anti-conservative cartoons for the WAPO, which of course is owned by Jeff Bezos, in case you didn't know. This is Jeff Bezos' personal political comic artist, arrested for child pornography in Sacramento County. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist, actually. Crazy. So this guy and his Pulitzer are going to prison. And I think this was him talking about child sex education. A black father wrote a book about their talk to show why it's important. So yeah, this was him talking about sex education. You don't want to take away their innocence, but you have to. And this was one of his comics as well. Groomer, he says. And then Jungen Vadaba. And Jungen Vadaba is the German word that has strong Nazi associations. And when they were burning things like the Sexual Institute, what was it called? Sexual Wissenschaft Institute, or the Sexual Sciences Institute, which I think was the ones. I don't remember the name. It was founded by a couple of Jewish people, and so the Nazis, of course, had issues with this Sexual Wissenschaft Institute. So they burned it to the fucking ground, if I remember correctly. And one of the things that they said about these people who were studying gender in the Weimar Republic was that they were Jungen Verderber. What does Verderber mean? I know Verbrecher. Verderber. Yeah. It doesn't translate to anything. Youth destroyer. So that was their word for it. These people that were trying to study sexual sciences, perhaps on children, They viciously called them Jugendverderber, youth destroyers. Very apropos allegory to the MAGA hat wearers who call all these proud sexual scientists trying to further our understanding of how many orgasms a child can have, a la Harvey Milk. What was Harvey's Institute? Hold on. We founded. There was a group. They had like a legitimate study that they published. That actually contained, like, it was information that was like sourced from pedophiles that had molested children, and they like recorded the orgasms of infants. I believe Harvey Milk was associated with this organization. Anyone know what I'm talking about? It's actually really disgusting. Is it just? Oh, it was the Harvey. Is it the Harvey Milk Institute named after him? Yeah, it is. Or is it? Well, it was self-reported. So the pedophiles who molested children said, "Oh yeah, it happened like 4 times." So, and then they recorded that and said, "Like, look, kids can have orgasms too." You guys, Kinsey Institute. That's it. The Kinsey Institute. Thank you. Who said that? Who said that? Because you guys just saved my ass. People would think I'm fucking... Aimbutt said it. Sega Jones said it. Those two. You guys are my heroes. Because otherwise I would just look like an insane person making shit up. It's a thing. There was a documentary about it. Do you guys remember what it was called? Those two people? Because you know if it's from the Kinsey Institute. Harvey Milk was somehow involved because it was just like a documentary that explored like basically the Sexual Wissenschaft Institute in the United States, which was the Kinsey Institute. And it's basically a direct parallel to this. Why do people like Harvey Milk? Because he's like held up over time. Like they give him this legacy that is completely glossing over all the bullshit. Is it just called the Kinsey Pedophiles? What's the name of it? I think I'm streaming to chat again. Dude, I'm so mentally ill. Sometimes when I'm talking to myself, like if I'm trying to figure something out, it's like, oh, it goes this way, doesn't it, chat? I just like I'm like a lunatic. If anyone who didn't know anything about me saw me talking to myself, they would legitimately think that I was like a homeless schizophrenic person. I don't know. If someone remembers the name of the documentary, please leave a comment about that in case anyone's curious. You're not real. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Oh. So, the Westoids are taking L's, but at least anime is safe. Right, chat? Unfortunately, anime's again taking massive L's, as per usual. The producer of Your Name faces 6 years in prison for child prostitution case involving over 100 victims. One thing I learned about Japanese child prostitution cases is that even if they see grown men entering hotel rooms with children who then claim to have been sexually assaulted, they actually can't prove their case with that alone. This guy, however, helped the prosecutors out a lot by recording all of his sexual encounters with children. Let's see. His name is Koichiro Ito, a Japanese national and producer of... Let's see what his biography is. His own... Damn, that's a lot of shit for that. I guess Your Name is like his big one. I can't read Japanese. Oh, there we go. Is there like a not Japanese person of this? No, there's not. Maybe he has an IMDb. 1 second. I want to read these out loud so if anyone knows what I'm talking about, they can cry about it. That's what's really important, is making them upset. Okay. He was a producer for Your Name, Suzume, The Garden of Words, and Weathering with You, Modern Love Tokyo, Haikara-san, Here Comes Miss Modern, Ani X Para, Anato Hero da Dera Desuka, and children whose chase lost voices. And from what I understand, all of his work involves like, I think it's like slice of life teen romance. So that was, if you watch any of this shit, that's what you're watching. You're watching like a Japanese pedophile dream about like teen romance. Sucks to be a weeaboo chat, as always. Let's go back to Westoid L's, as per usual. William Zulock and Zachary Zulock are married men, quote-unquote married. And they were famous for being gay adoptives. They were outstanding members of the LGBTQIP+, and they had been recently arrested for molesting their adopted kids, as per usual, chat. You know, we used to have this shit figured out. We legit had this figured out. You could be gay. You could go around gay bathrooms cruising and sucking dick all you wanted, but you couldn't get married because that's retarded, and you couldn't adopt into a gay relationship. That's also retarded. And the world worked like this for many thousands of years, and the only way that somebody would get dragged behind a truck is if they like sexually assaulted somebody. And now it's just like whatever goes. Because like even if like gay adoptive parents were like 100% likely to molest kids, they would cover that up. They would never do any studies into it. And then they would say, well, it's discrimination to say that they can't adopt because they're married just like any other relationship. So it's unconstitutional. It's like discriminatory, bro. Fucked everything up, Chad. However, a federal bill passed the House, and it would restrict men from participating in women's sports. However, the really fascinating thing about this bill that is entering the Senate is that in the vote, which is not showed here, but in the final vote, there was actually 2 line crossers. Every Republican voted for it, but 2 Democrats did too. And I had to look them up because I'm like, who the fuck voted for this on the Democrat side? It was 2 Mexican Texans. So 2 Texans elected out of, or Democrats elected out of Texas, voted against it. And their quotes are actually pretty brutal. The guy said that, I believe there should be rules to keep our sports fair and that boys should not play in girls' sports, Gonzalez said. And then later down there, as to why he broke the rank and voted with the Republicans, he says, an overwhelming majority of Americans believe that men don't belong in women's sports and that we must allow common sense to prevail. From Stoiber, and then I think, where's the quote? Here. Kohler voted against a similar bill in 2023. He said, based on the concerns and feedback he received from constituents. So many of the Mexicans in his jurisdiction like reached out to him and said, amigo, you got to vote for this shit. That he actually broke party ranks and voted for it. And I find that fascinating that all the Mexicans in Texas are like, nah, fuck trannies. Amazing. I don't know why it's so crazy that like a Democrat would vote for what their constituents want as opposed to like their party line. I guess if you break from the party too often, they won't give you any support and you'll lose your next election. But I feel like it should be obvious that a Democrat from one state that's more conservative would vote more conservative too. But that's not how it worked. It's like almost always down party lines. Democrats don't understand that immigrants will vote for conservative values. No, they won't. They will vote for more gives. The problem is that Mexican immigrants, especially second and third generations, are like doing so well that many of them don't rely on government support anymore. Like they don't a black person will basically always vote Democrat because Democrats vote for more Section 8, vote for more Medicare, vote for more food stamps. So like that's why 98% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. But the Mexican, like, a lot of them work and they don't like paying taxes. So that's why they vote. Votes are almost always economical. They're very rarely over conservative issues. For societal issues to become so bad that people will vote against their own financial interest, It's got to be really, really bad. Most people are just concerned about how much money they have when they vote. Though, I mean, if I had to pick, I've eaten a lot of Mexican food in my life, and I have never been as sick as I was just being in the vicinity of Indian people for one afternoon. So if I had to pick 1 billion of which to import, I would prefer the Mexicans. Maybe we can just sort this out and just deport everybody south of Mexico. Everything from the mountains of Panama that are separated from Colombia, all the way up. We'll tolerate those ones, except the Belizeans. They have to go. We'll draw a line. The Panama will be the line. There's a mountain range that separates Colombia and Panama. That'll be the border from the people we tolerate and people we don't tolerate. Indian food is not good enough to even compete with Mexican food. Mexican food just completely, totally clobbers Indian food in every shape. Okay, one more Troon related thing before I am done with the Troon news. This one I have to be delicate. I forgot the hamster. Hamster, I need you to compliment me for just 1 second so that I look serious enough for 1 second so that we can talk about this matter-of-factly with no exaggeration, no hyperbole, no beleaguering the point. There is a man, a quote-unquote man, named Josh, or Josh Christianza. I don't know what the fuck kind of name that is, but there he is. And he was known to the community as Blowblax. Very foreshadowing name. Now, Josh took it upon himself to dump ass all over random people as part of the commentary community, which I have described many times as being like the Kiwi Farms kiddie pool. And when I say that, I'm not belittling the people involved. I'm just saying that it's very tame. It's a very mild form of Kiwi Farms drama for those who think that the Kiwi Farms is too mean or says things that are too unacceptable. And that's fine. Not everybody has to be on the Kiwi Farms. Blowblax was a member of the kiddie pool, and I want to say at some point, for a while, he was considered a regular person in this group. But then a crack formed. A crack that was so subtle, nobody in the kiddie pool noticed except me as an outside observer. Because during Drop Kiwi Farms, when Queen Cathal's, the fart throne, I need a different name for him. The fart throne user Zerself tried to bring low the forum. I think most of the commentary community, in fact, I can't think of anybody else, rallied around the forum and said, this is bullshit. Blowblax did not. Blowblax said, we have to heckin' respect our trans queens, such as Queen Cathal's. And I said, my dude, you're gay as shit. And when you lose, because you will lose, I hope people look back on all their entertainers, all their YouTubers who sat around sucking tranny cock for all the years that it was politically expedient and financially expedient to do so. And I hope that people like you are held with utter scorn and contempt for being the spineless, pussy, coward, craven bitches that you are. And he said, wow, bro, you're talking like motherfucking Sephiroth. My white eloquence offended him. I use far too many words with far too many syllables to be acceptable as a thing to say on the internet in 2025. Even though I'm a fucking 32-year-old man, I can write in complete sentences. So I kind of left it at that. And then over time, he came to some people's surprises, not my surprise. He came out as a heckin' valid NB. And he says that he was questioning his gender and sexuality. And then it came out, oh, he liked to dabble in dresses. And now it's come out that he has an OnlyFans with nude images that obviously I cannot show you. And just to be extra safe, I'll hide this while I bring it up. And I'm super glad I did because there's a penis on my screen. And I'll put it back up. and his OnlyFans profile is Mr. Miss Manshee, a heckin' valid NB that you can see jerk his sad little. There's a word that the soy jack party people use on the Kiwi farms. That's extremely vile, and I will never iterate this word again, but it's the most appropriate term that I can think of off the top of my head. His sad little clitty, chat. That's what he's jerking off. It seeps sadness as he does so, and it's truly a disgusting spectacle. Now, I don't want to be too raunchy, and that's in one part to save my community from hearing such things ever again. But also, he gets off to this. If you don't remember, and I'm sure many of you do, there was once a person named Brian Dunn, who has not gone the fuck away, but people are better at ignoring him now because he's a retard. Brian Dunn had a humiliation fetish. And this was outed by Medicare in a one of the most memorable streams he ever did, because there's a part where it becomes obvious that Brian Dunn's whole spectacle of being a retard locale on the internet is something that he enjoys sexually. He loves being humiliated. And I was having this realization, and this stream was extremely memorable because exactly at the moment I was having this realization, Medicare addresses me personally to say that you know that you were jerking Brian Dunn off this entire time. And he said this exactly as I came to this realization, and it was an extremely surreal moment. So that stands out as his most memorable stream to me. And so I would like you all to learn from the lessons that I have learned the hard way, chat. Mr. Miss Manshee, aka Josh Christiansen, aka Blowblax, is a humiliation fetish. And as people are gathering around in the kiddie pool and taking turns dunking him under the water, and he's going, "Oh no, please don't bully me. Oh no." He's actually jerking off the sad little clitty as he does so. So I warn you, there's people out there who love making content, and this is obviously the easiest dunks in the whole world to get in. Get your dunks in and wash your hands of this freak, because he will always come back and he will always beg for your attention. He will send you pictures of himself in a dress holding up his social security cards at various points, trying to get you to do another video on what a sad faggot he is. I mean this sincerely. That's where I see him going with this. I've dealt with people exactly like that, who will just literally take pictures of themselves in a diaper, completely naked, with their social security card and birth certificate in each hand, and that's how they're posting online to try and get you to talk about them. That's where he's going, because it happened so fast. It was so deliberate, so obviously deliberate, that I see that as inevitable. So, word from the wise, rather. I'm the wise one. I'm the old man in the kiddie pool. That sounds bad. Listen up, kids. Get your dunks in and be done, because it's going to get worse, but it's going to be a thing that he wants to get worse. Don't play in. And that is your final Blowblax update. As per my rule with these kinds of people, I will report on him if his life is ruined, something happens that's life-changing. Like maybe he cuts off an arm for attention, or goes to jail, or gets curb stomped by a transgender prostitute in Nevada. These are all things that I'll talk about because they're funny enough that it's like, okay, whatever. But outside of that, I never want to think about him ever again, because it's obvious what he is. Cool. Awesome. Excellent, even. Next, I have a brief update about the tortoise that I mentioned last stream. It was presumed that this tortoise had died. He did, in fact, die. What I did not notice is that this tortoise is enormous. I kind of ribbed her and said, oh, why didn't she save the tortoise? She didn't save the tortoise because he's 500 pounds, and he burrows 25 feet into the ground. So the tortoise did die, but I legit have no fucking idea how you would save this tortoise. You know what I mean? Like, how do you save it? How? How would that even be possible? She also says, and I believe her, that she was given no notice. There wasn't a warning like, hey, the fire's coming, you should be prepared to leave in 5 hours. It was like, hey, the fire's right there, get the fuck out now. So she didn't get any notice, and this tortoise is much bigger than I expected and burrowed very deep into the ground, so a little bit crazy. Just a sad update, but I just wanted to clarify that because I felt like it was a little bit mean blaming her for that. Matt Walsh has said something stupid. I would like to cover this because I want to show you how dissociated people. Matt Walsh in particular, I don't know. He always seems to say retarded shit. He's one of those people that I kind of want to like, but every time I see something like his hot takes, he's just like a retard. Cernovich, who of course married a black woman apparently and has like a lisp, says, I saw someone say $70K a year at UPS for a 22-year-old is a dead-end job. Either one of those is, either the online right is full of snobby kids with rich parents, these kids failed to launch and are bitter, or they have sunken into complete nihilism. Definitely the latter. Matt Walsh has an opinion though. He says, my first job when I moved out of my parents' house started at $17,000 a year. A lot of young people today have completely lost the drive to work their way up in the world. They literally expect to be gifted a 6-figure salary at the start. Insane levels of entitlement and apathy. As the raccoon reply says, 17K a year 20 years ago is like 45K a year today. It's about being denied a fair shot and not because they don't want to work. Matt replies to this and says, some of you have no historical perspective at all. It's amazing. There's been inflation, but not nearly as much as you seem to think. You're living in a fantasy land, child. The readers say the average U.S. income in 2000 was 57.5. In 2022, it's 77.6, a 35% increase. Meanwhile, groceries now cost 100% more than 2000. And the median home value was $120,000. Which would be $220 today, 100% more basically. Whereas it is $440,000, an almost 400% increase. Just fucking mind-boggling. And then he talks about inflation. So, okay, here's the thing. Housing prices are way up because we have more people living in the country. Obvious, right? Also, inflation has, I think, doubled the price of what a house should be worth. So there's more demand, and then there's also inflation. The other thing I want to talk about is this. There's 3 things, actually. I would like to give first a defense of postmen. I think I've said this before on stream, but I'll say it again because I think it's a good point. After World War II, when Germany was completely and totally destroyed, one of the first priorities of the Allied forces in the occupation zone was denazification and eradicating basically any remaining NSDAP statutes or symbols or whatever. One of the things that was very featured Hitler a lot was postage stamps. Hitler insisted that postage in the Reich Post was featuring his image, and he asked to be paid royalties. So this was kind of his idea, that after he won the war and retired or whatever, he would still have a steady income of royalties from the Reich Post. The Allies were so one of their first priorities outside of the denazification was to get the post working. So when they started working on getting postage working, they had an issue that all the stamps in circulation featured Hitler. So they allowed Hitler stamps to continue to have value until they naturally left the circulation. So to put that into perspective, the Allies' first test was to get the post working, and they were in such a hurry to do so that they didn't mind Hitler being on the stamps in order to accomplish this as expediently as possible. The post is a very, very important thing. It's in the Constitution. There's a postal clause that grants the government the authority to run a post office. People, therefore, have to deliver mail. If you have a post office, and the post is important, 2 things that I don't think anybody would disagree with, you therefore have to have people who actually run the post office. And there is no reason why anybody running the post office should not be afforded to feed a family of 4 by himself. There's no reason whatsoever. Anyone saying that a postal worker does not deserve a full slew of benefits, and enough money to support a family of 4 is somebody who is categorically retarded, unfortunately. That would include Cernovich. It would also include, maybe not Cernovich, but Matt Walsh, definitely. I don't know why people hate the USPS. If you guys look up the Congressional Budget Office and you look at where our money goes, all of our money goes to Medicare, Medicaid, and to HUD as discretionary spending. We spend all of our money, billions and billions of dollars, paying black people not to riot because they can, and not to steal. That's effectively what we pay our federal taxes for. The other largest expense, besides interest, is the IRS. 1 out of every $6 you spend goes to the IRS for the luxury of being taxed. You literally, that is the percentage. It's about 15% of all of our income. If you look at how much they spend, it was a $650 allotment for the IRS in 2024, I want to say. And that is 1/6 thereabout of our entire federal income. That's it. So the IRS is a bloated piece of shit. It is much less efficient than other Western tax authorities. And then discretionary spending for paying bribe money, protection money to black people to stay home and eat fried chicken until they can't move, instead of rioting and stealing and killing people like in South Africa. That's where a lot of our money goes as well. The post office is a extremely small part of our federal budget and is one of the most important. So Matt Walsh being like, we don't need to pay postal workers is like, are you fucking retarded? Like, for real. You're listening while carrying mail and you can't support yourself. Shout out to our hardworking post office employees, Shep. So on that note, I bring you to my third and final point. The reason why, I thought about this long and hard, because Vivek Ramaswamy said this, that American workers don't want to work. Americans, the natives in this country, do not want to work. And the reason why is part of what I said about the black protection money. In this country, if you choose not to work, you will be given housing credits, you will be given food stamps, and you will be given free medicine. If you decide to work and you make over a certain amount of money, which is very low, especially considering inflation, you get no food stamps, you get no housing credits, and you get no health care. So if you work a menial job that doesn't pay very well, i.e. a postal worker, not a federal employee though, but other kinds, you probably don't get health care, you probably don't get a pension or a retirement account, and you probably don't make enough money to pay for rent and for food. But you also pay taxes. So you can pay for other people's free shit. So if you have the choice of working 40 hours a week, if you're lucky, probably 36 hours a week, so they don't have to pay you as an employee, a full-time employee. If you choose to work 36 hours a week doing something you hate for not much money, so that you can pay taxes into a system that you don't benefit from, so that other people cannot work, or you can make $10,000 less a year, but not ever have to work and just sit home and smoke weed and goon and play. What's that game everyone likes to play for 80 hours a fucking week? Oh, Elden Rings. How about this? Instead of working 36 hours a week, maybe even 72 hours a week, working 2 jobs you hate, so you can pay a third of your income to people who don't fucking work, you can sit home and goon for 36 hours, and you can sit home and play Elden Ring for 80 hours a week, and not work and get everything you want. So, Balatro. So why the fuck would you work if you have the option? Oh, you have less discretionary spending. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. That's a terrible option. The only reason why someone would choose to work that much to not get ahead at all is out of pride. And guess what? Nobody cares about your pride. Guess what? LaShonda's sitting home eating fried chicken with her 8 kids in Section 8 housing in Detroit. Don't give a fuck about your pride, boy. Keep paying that Schutzgeld. Funny, chat. Isn't it funny? I'm laughing. Ha ha, I said, laughing aloud. Let me get some thirsty. Okay. Asmongold apparently had a direct line to Elon Musk. And despite having a direct line to Elon Musk, he became very suspicious. And this is like an open joke in Path of Exile. I briefly played Path of Exile 2, and I got to like 68, and I got filtered. I hate like having to like struggling to like find replacements, like straight upgrades for all my gear. So when I get to maps, I just start getting bored. But while I was playing, I was you're like automatically signed into a global chat where people spam parrots and shit. One of the topics that came up quite frequently was Elon Musk and if he actually plays Path of Exile 2. And the consensus of Path of Exile 2 players is absolutely fucking not. He doesn't. One of the things that he did that people criticized him for was that he apparently did not know how to operate Mana Flask. I don't know how other people are playing Path of Exile, but I'm basically hooked up to a fucking IV drip of mana and health potions, just continually chugging both. So him being confused at how to drink from the mana potion is like a sure sign that he does not play this fucking game. Which, I mean, is obvious. He's the richest man in the world. He runs like 8 trillion businesses. He's worth a lot of money. Probably does not play that many video games, but for some reason he really likes to like show that he's one of the cool kids. So he hired Chinese people, and they think they're Chinese because some of his bank tabs when he was playing the game and kind of fumbling about were in Chinese. I think there was even a bank tab called like Elon's items as he was playing, like in Chinese. So it was very, very suspicious looking. And then Asmongold said, "Hey, I would like to do these challenges to prove that you actually know how to play this game." Elon got very offended, unfollowed him, and then tried to out him by posting private conversations where Asmongold was like, "Hey, can you talk to my editor?" And he's like, "Look, he doesn't even make his own videos. He has editors. He has bosses." Which is true, by the way. Asmongold has a media talent agency called Night Media. This will become relevant later. I found this funny. Apparently, he released a 50-minute long video epically responding to Elon Musk. And I did not watch this. I don't know what it is. I hate this guy's face. Like, this man's face like nauseates and enrages me. I hate like his physiognomy disgusts me on like this deep visceral level, and I hate how his voice sounds. I legit cannot stand looking at him for seconds at a time. So I didn't watch this, and I will not watch this, and I don't care what he has to say. King Cobra, more importantly, has been banned from YouTube because he made a video about P. Diddy getting HIV. He says that YouTube removed it for cyberbullying, and this is the second time that this has happened to him, he says. He makes videos ripping on sickos, and his videos get removed for bullying. So what happens is that when he makes a video saying that P. Diddy, who's like a pedophile rapist, has HIV, for some reason YouTube, they like flood the reports, and then YouTube just removes the video for cyberbullying because he's a small channel. Tragic, chat. Tragic. He's on the free speech platform Facebook to discuss this. Chantal's hamster has died. His name was Howie. It has been a running thought in the Chantalverse that she kills these hamsters continuously. Like, they always look different. So, I mean, hamsters only live like 2 years. They're rodents. But they always look different. So there's like a running gag in the thread that she just sits on these hamsters, and it's like Howie number 10, Howie number 11 just died. Rip Chad. Very tragic. Didn't she just get the hamster? No, Howie. She's had for a while theoretically. The concept of Howie has existed for 2 years, and I guess she got sick of replacing them, so she's officially announced that Howie's dead. So I guess Howie number 24 will be the final Howie. He'll be the last Howie. They're retiring the Howie line at this point. She was running. It's like that drill post. Someone good at the economy help me balance my budget. Food, $3,600 a month. Rent, $50 a month. Everything else, $50 a month. Hamsters, $7,200 a month. Stop buying hamsters. No. Actually, yes. She's going to stop buying hamsters. Howie24, last of the line. Last of his name. The last Howie. I have not watched these videos yet, but apparently the Kiwi Farms was featured in a thread about a fat woman. The documentary is called Your Fat Friend, focusing on fat activist Aubrey Gordon. Does not even have her own thread, but is in the fat acceptance movement thread. She apparently believes that weight loss is not physically possible and calories aren't real. Now, if there's anything anything truer than that, I haven't heard it. She's a serial intellectual who started out as an LGBTQIP+ organizer and describes contact politicians about pro-trans legislation harassing everyday citizens into trans women are women dogma. Wonderful. I have nothing but contempt for her. Let's see what she has to say in this documentary about the Kiwi Farms. Ready?
And I just got doxxed. It is so fucking surreal to see my home address and my full name and my fucking social security number. And it's clear that all of this is for sport.
That video was very weird. There's a ton of stuff removed. And the font in this one post is wrong. It's Quattrocento the entire time, except for this post where it's an Arial. And then it's like shit's like edited out and missing. That's actually really weird. I wonder how she even accomplished this, the editors. It's called phone booking, by the way. Doxing isn't real.
Oh, I see why her thin friend makes more money than she does. Her big fat meatball head is punchable. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna be waiting for me. I don't know if they're gonna kill me.
I don't know if my big fat meatball head will be punched. If her big fat meatball head was punched, I would condemn that in the strongest possible terms, but I'm pretty sure. What's the name of that user?
Oh, I see why her thin friend makes more.
Rock and Roll Scar. I don't think that you gotta worry about Rock and Roll Scar. I just have a feeling. She's probably not gonna come punch you in your big fat meatball head. Oh well. Alright. Now, chat, I'm of course one of the eldest fags on the internet, so I like to introduce our younger viewers to old school internet memes. And for this stream, I think I'm going to do this every stream. I'm going to introduce you to an epic old fag meme so that you can get a better appreciation for internet culture, chat. Now, today, at complete random, for no reason whatsoever, I picked this one out for you guys. This is Leeroy Jenkins. Let's watch it.
Okay, guys, these eggs have given us a lot of trouble in the past. Does anybody need anything off this guy, or can we bypass him?
I think Leeroy needs something from this guy.
Oh, he needs those devout shoulders? Isn't he a paladin?
Yeah, but that'll help him heal better. He'll have more mana.
Christ. Okay, well, what we'll do, I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just, blast them all down with AoE. I will use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too, so we can keep them scattered and not to fight too many. When his is done, Bass, of course, will need to run in and do the same thing. We're going to need Divine Intervention on our mages, so they can AE, so we can, of course, get them down fast, because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan, and we should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating, of course, percentage of survival.
Oh, that's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leeroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
Save him!
Oh, gee, stick to the plan.
Oh, Jesus. Let's go. Stick to the pledge,
Stick to the plan.
Oh, gee. Oh, fuck. Give me Divine Intervention. Hurry up.
Shout.
He's saying I can't cast. I can't move. Am I lagging, guys?
I can't move.
What the hell? I can't AE. Oh my god.
Oh, just keep saying
More responding. I don't think you can cast with that shit. Oh my god.
We got him.
Get off. I got it. Get off.
Come on, down.
Oh my god.
God damn it, Leeroy.
God damn it. Leeroy, you moron.
Leeroy.
Move.
This is ridiculous.
I'm on it. So mass. I'm down. Forking down. God damn. I got killed before I could remove him.
All this. God.
Oh,
Spiffy, res us.
Why do you do this shit, Leeroy?
I'm trying.
It's not my fault.
Who's soul stoned?
We do have a soul stone up, don't we?
Anthony, you got soul stones?
Warlock.
Oh god.
Oh, for...
Great job,
For Christ's sake. Leeroy, you were just stupid as hell.
Over him.
At least I have chicken.
One of the classics, one of the greatest. By the way, I have a question.
God damn it.
Right at this point, I've never played World of Warcraft serious enough to actually like get into the game. Is this spell that this guy cast? Is that Blizzard? Out of curiosity, or Ice Frost or whatever? Tell me what spell this is where everyone's trapped in ice. Now, this was an ancient internet meme. Leeroy Jenkins was like a MySpace hit. The follow-up line, at least I have chicken, classic, very relatable. Everybody loved it. Frost Nova, apparently. Okay, just wondering. Now, I play this. I lied, actually. I played this for a very specific reason. While I never played World of Warcraft, I was much too busy playing RuneScape and Blocklands. They have restored the game to this classic state. This old school... They have old school World of Warcraft now, no doubt inspired by RuneScape. And a lot of people play it. A lot of people who are nerds. And, to make things even more consequential, they have old school permadeath World of Warcraft. So in this instance, everyone dead for Leeroy Jenkins would be permanently dead. I'm not sure if they're like permadead or like in Path of Exile, if you die in hardcore, they just kick your character out to like normal, where you can die all you want. So I'm not sure if it works like that or if the character is actually deleted. In Diablo, when you die, they actually straight up fucking delete the character. So I'm not sure if how that works. So this is the internet drama that is like so out of my league that I'm going to try to touch on it just very casually because it's very significant in terms of like eyes on it, and I need it recorded to the Man at the Internet archive just in case. It wipes your character? Oh my god. Oh, it's like I did play. I know you're like a ghost in World of Warcraft, so your character just stays as a ghost forever, and you can never play it again. That's funny. Okay, so this is Jason Thor Hal, aka Piratesoftware. He's like an Asmongold tier internet celebrity. I see his fucking post on Twitter all the time. Never watched any of his streams. I really hate how his mic is like super overproduced. He's like programmed an AI to reinterpret his voice to be like as much of a radio voice as humanly fucking possible. He joined a guild called OnlyFangs, which of course is straight up gooner, and he was a permadeath old school World of Warcraft player. From what I understand, he claims to have credentials of being like a super hacker from the FBI. He said that he worked for Blizzard. I think he actually did work for Blizzard. He's a pro pirating software, so he has like that kind of like EFF, like old school nerd credentials, what he's going for. He is 10% of Asmon. Okay, so he's big, but he's not like super big. Now let's watch him play with his OnlyFangs guild members as they play a boss. Now this is the same kind of dungeon as in the Leeroy Jenkins video. This is old school World of Warcraft, so I think it's had some slight visual updates, but it's not like modern World of Warcraft. And of course, if you die, you're dead. So he's fighting Gordok Magelord, who may be more familiar to me as Ogre Magi, a Dota character, which I'm almost certain looking at this character is based off Gordok Magelord. But let's see how this plays out, chat.
Boss is coming too. Watch out.
Yeah. Well, I got shield wall. God damn it.
Run.
Just run. Can you target dummy?
I can target them, yeah. Should I do it?
Just kill the mastiff. Yeah, target dummy. Kill the mastiffs.
No.
Aussie, are you fine?
Any
grenades, anything?
You can just
heal him.
Yeah, you just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
Boss is on me, sitting bear form.
Come back and heal me.
I can help a lot. Yep.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look
This
at
is
my mana.
savageable. Come on, man.
Just kill the mastiff. Kill the mastiffs. We got this. In the sense of
War something.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
Just kill the mastiffs. One shot. Okay, we
more on the way.
Now. The mastiffs can be ice novas.
He's standing there.
Now we're gonna wait.
His party members are dead, and he's just standing there. What can I do for you? Now, chat. I am not a World of Warcraft player. However, I did look into this very briefly. Down here, all of his items and spells. These things right here. You can see my mouse, right? When I move it on this. See if I can shrink this. Because I can't. You cannot. Okay, hold up. Give me 1 second. You need to be able to see my mouse so I can point at shit. Properties, capture cursor. Okay, I don't know. I can't fix it. At the bottom, I'll try to wiggle it just in case it works, but I don't think it does. You see this red gem and then a robe right next to it. As I have been informed, the red gem, or maybe some other item on this toolbar, I'm pretty sure it's the red gem, is a mana gem, which the blue one is probably the mana gem, I bet. It's, I don't know, one of these. It completely restores your mana, which he needs to cast spells. And then the other one is a robe. And I believe that robe has a special thing that also completely restores your mana. So he has 2 items on his taskbar that would enable him to instantly completely replenish his mana, which would be very, very valuable to save your teammates in a game where if you die, they're permanently dead. I have also been informed by alumni of classic World of Warcraft. Red is mana gem. Okay, that's very counterintuitive to me as somebody who plays games where blue is mana, red is health. But there it is, right next to each other. He's even put them together very cleverly, right next to each other, so that they're right there. If he even misses that one, he'll still hit the robe, which also replenishes mana. It's all set up perfectly just to make sure that that he can never run out of mana, so that this exact predicament can never happen. What's crazy is that he spends a full minute basically running. Like from here onwards, he's just like do completely turn the corner. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I like this part too. This is great. He's running and like you can't even see the monster. Like they're so far away from him that there's zero threat. He turns the corner and he still is like he still needs that distance. I need to close that gap. So he uses a spell to blink forward.
Snuppy, just run.
So he has enough mana to blink apparently. I'm assuming that it costs mana. But he doesn't have enough money or enough mana to actually cast any support spells to help his friends. This was considered, I think, just because of how much he toited his nerd cred. Him doing this was so anti-nerd, anti-cool, that every single facet of his personality, which had prior come under criticism, was now fair game. It was like, at least he's still the cool World of Warcraft player. And now it's like, okay, we have to like go over his entire resume, every controversy he's ever had, no matter how minor, and dump ass all over him. Like, they've just gone completely cannibalistic. And I think it's because, like, I'm assuming he's about my age. Like, the only World of Warcraft thing I remember besides the South Park episode is this fucking thing of Leeroy Jenkins being based and going in there and killing everybody. So instead of going down with the ship, he just sat there, literally sat there, so far from danger and so far removed from the people struggling to stay alive that he could just sit here. Like, you can't even see the monsters on his screen. He ran so far away and then is reading his chat and just being like, actually, chat, I don't have any mana, but yet, chat, the mana gem and the robes of the Archmage. Oh, I can see exactly what it does here. Hold up. Use restores 375 to 625 mana with a 5-minute cooldown. So that's not even like a permanent consumable. That's something you can just hit right when you need mana. If you need a cast I think Ice Nova, Blizzard, those kind of. He's like a Frost Mage. I was also told by the alumni that Frost Mage is the most bitch ass class in the entire game. Like if you were gonna play old school World of Warcraft and you were just like the biggest pussy and didn't want to die, you would pick an Ice Mage because there's effectively if you play your cards right or pick the right skills to level up, you will never ever die as an Ice Mage. That's what I was told. So it's just very funny that this is like the straw that broke the camel's back. This was what did it. Like after all the bullshit I've heard about him leaving his friends to die in this guild was like, okay, no holds barred. We're going for his career, his lifeline. We're gonna remove his manhood so that he can't procreate. This is fucking over. So the riots immediately broke out. Roach is his new name because, as we could see here, scurrying away from confrontation, using even like a little palmetto bug when they sometimes decide to start flying over a short distance. He breaks out his wings and goes buzz away from the light, away from the threat, far, far away from him, like a little scurrying cockroach, cucaracha. So how did he decide to handle this outrage? Obviously, as somebody who is a professional streamer, who has lots of money, lots of contacts, a whole Discord server of fans, he can sit down for a second, think about what he's happened, think about what to say, and smooth things over, right? Because it's just like, sorry about those two people. He can go back and help them level up new characters, all that good stuff, right? So this was his response.
Insane people on the internet. So I just banned and reported them. We've been doing bans across the Twitch channel. We've been doing batch reports up to Twitch. We've been taking all of this. We've been documenting all of the content creators that are egging it on. Like, all of that shit is documented and reported. Okay, hold up. I'm going to say Death Note, but there's a moment when it should have stopped. And if you watch Death Note, you know exactly what moment that was.
I would not consider Pirate Mage. It's a glorified shadow priest.
It's like he will more than happily just throw you to the fucking wolves and run over your corpse if he feels like it.
Yeah, I will say this is a pretty bad look. They're all like fighting here. Pirate's like turning the corner.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you doing?
All streamers who clowned on him banned from Twitch and WoW. Yep.
But he fucking panicked like a roach and did nothing for his group. Disgusting. And then he doesn't go back on it. He acts like it's the right decision.
Like, you're telling me like a rank 1 mage would not like easy to try Frozen or whatever. Like you
Okay. If you need some clarification. Oh wait, there's one more bit, I think.
I can't wait for all of them to get banned. Yep.
So after the issue, he decided to clear out anyone making fun of him on his chat, report them all to Twitch staff. He's a high-ranking streamer, so a lot of them got Twitch bans. And then, in his guild, OnlyFans, there were lots of streamers that were much smaller than him. And they reviewed the footage, and some people unrelated also reviewed the footage who streamed World of Warcraft, and they came to the conclusion that he had pussed out. Well, he also went after them, attacked all of them. I think some of them got into trouble, so... And then he arranged an interview with Asmongold to clarify. And Asmongold is the only person who took his side, basically. And Asmongold, of course, is a huge streamer. But guess what? A huge World of Warcraft streamer to boot. Guess what is really funny about that, chat? Asmongold and Piratesoftware are both talents under Night Media. They're co-workers. And they don't disclose that they both have a relationship with the same company. They just happen to do a little sweepy stream together and just didn't disclose that they have a direct business relationship and an invested interest in promoting each other. Fascinating. Isn't that weird how that works? Crazy. A little bit of a cucaracha moment, if I do say so myself. Because you know how they are. They're hiding under the cardboard together in the pizza box. You got a bunch of them. Open that box. They all scurry, though. They all turn that corner and run. So the fallout of this has been incredible. Tons and tons of people not only like going after him, making fun of him on Twitter, but review bombing his game, Heartbound. People just openly posting his Kiwi Farms thread on Zitter. People bombing his Twitch chat with links to it. The board was over like 4,500 people at some point at a very odd hour, and that was because there was so much traffic coming in from outside sources to read the thread about Piratesoftware that it caused a noticeable spike in activity on the site. And then there's a video that I'll get to. So he got banned from OnlyFans and decided to, instead of addressing this issue head on, boot up a single player game, Path of Exile 2, and see even more about people from World of Warcraft.
Anyway, I'm going to be real with you guys. I won't be playing hardcore WoW on stream again. I don't give a shit about any of this stuff anymore. If you came here to like talk about it, or you want to do the thing, you think it's part of a soap opera or a bit, it's not part of a bit. I'm not going to play, and I'm just going to go do other stuff, and that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to make my own guild. I'm not going to do any of that shit. I'm out. Yeah, not interested.
Bro, what the fuck? He's running the same exact build that I stumbled into. The skeleton minions with firewall and summon raging spirits. That's funny. I like minions, chat. I like minions. See, just like me, I don't need any friends because I have skeletons and flaming skulls. He also doesn't need any friends. He lost all his friends. He let them die on the floor to Ogre Magi, who did a 4x multicast Fire Blast in everybody's fucking face. Now he can play a real game with his real friends, the skeletons.
Rather do other shit that's more fun.
Wow. Literally. Wow. Fascinating. Fascinating. All you gotta do is say that was his fault and apologize. I really hate his mic setup. I don't know what it is. It's like he wants to like come across as really manly and like authoritative. So it's just like, okay, let's crush all the 10. Let's bring out all the mids and let's bass boost this. Like I'm gonna fucking rap or some shit. It's like okay, yeah, I want to sound like the most generic podcaster that has ever fucking lived. Let me just deepen my voice artificially in post. That's a side though. My mic always sounds like shit. I'm not one to talk, but that's what it is. Okay, next. Finally, the real topic that I actually care about. Ethan Ralph. Near and dear to my heart, always, the Ralph and Milk content. Ralph had moved to Tijuana, which of course is just south of California, and very near to his son, Alexander, who he intended to see and wanted to see so badly that he wrote a plea to the prosecutor in Minnesota to lift his nationwide search warrant so that he could pay a fine, so that he could be allowed back into the United States without getting arrested, so that he could travel up to LA and see Xander. It did not go well. Harry Morris, the baby mama dada, said that Ethan Ralph did not even attend his last meeting for Xander, or could not attend. I think it was, he said in chat that he came fucked up, so he wasn't permitted by, because when they do these meetings, they do them in like a court-mandated space, so I think there's a social worker there to oversee that the visitations are healthy and productive. So when he showed up, the social worker noticed that he was intoxicated, and said that he couldn't attend. That's just what Harry Morris said. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't think Ralph confirmed or denied this in any way, so I don't know. Kind of a thing, because it's crazy, you know, he talks about how much he loves his son all the time, and he can't even stop popping pills. But while he was there, something happened. What happened is not particularly clear, so a lot of this will be inference. I did unblock Dax just out of the blue, just to send him a message for the first time in like 4 years, to ask him a question. It was a burning question. I asked, "What the fuck did you do?" And I got a very indirect answer, but I have a theory. Ralph says after this, he says, I'm quitting. I'll finish up some business first, but I'm tired of this. People who have done more drugs than Colombia have holy than thou attitude. He wrote holy than though. I guess I'll try to read this as he wrote it. I'm just done with it. I'm going to see my son the next 2 days and then disappear. Oh, and your new co-host sucks bad. Vito the pedo is held in higher esteem than me. You can't make this up. Stars of the past fucked women, did drugs, coke, DUI. Vito fucks children. Kiwi Farms was right. What he wrote. This was the start of a moment where many Kiwi Farms scholars were debating if this was kayfabe or not. As we all know, Ralph sometimes likes to get into a little bit of a hoopla with people on the internet, and sometimes it's not completely organic. So, Dax and Ralph have been good friends, I would say, for at least 4 years. It was pretty much exactly at the time, even longer, where I was still on the podcast that he was friends with Ralph, so it's been even longer than that. They met up many times. Dick's gone out of his way to go to his events. Ralph famously went to his studio when they were out of town and got so fucked up that he passed out on stream twice and initiated his divorce with his wife, May. And then people at the time, May's suffering had become a recurring trend on the stream, where I would just say, suffer, horse. Because I really hated May. So every time I just saw her looking horrified and miserable, I would just say, suffer, horse. And then while Ralph was fucked out of his mind in Dick's studio, people in the chat were saying, suffer, horse, because he was ranting about May. And it was like, yeah, suffer, horse. And Goodbye Horses was playing, because it was like a super chat that just said suffer, horse, with Goodbye Horses attached to it. And it's like, he was like vibing to Goodbye Horses, like, suffer, horse. It was really Kino, as they say. It was really awesome. So what I was trying to get to is that Dick and him have gone a long way back, and Dick has always enabled him, always said he's just doing fine, he's not that concerned, don't tell another man what he can put into his body, yada yada yada, that kind of enabler shit. So it's like, okay, there's no way he actually had a falling out with Dick. But then more receipts came out. Vito Comedy, aka Vito the Pedo, Vito Giswalzi, a man who has admitted multiple times to be sexually attracted to children, says, bro, you literally asked me to lunch yesterday. Ralph says, I wanted to study how pesos lure their victims. He says, well, okay. That's the screenshot. He says, I'm not really quitting. I'm going on the warpath. Obviously. Implying he's going to go after Dax. Fuck off, loser. Oh, wait, no, this is Chris Brunet, and Chris is, like, kind of popular on Twitter, and for some reason he followed Ralph, and Chris was like, bro, if you don't, like, stop whining on Twitter, I'm gonna unfollow you. So he says, fuck off, loser. Go obsess about the groiper some more, which you are not very good at. You have no idea how I'm about to burn this fucker down. Oh, you want a heel turn, you're about to get one, or face, depending on your perspective. He then quote tweets the thing you replied to earlier and says, Vito, you have never been funnier than me, except as a running joke. Sorry, I'm reading this way too sober. Vito, you have never been funny than me, except as a running joke about pedos. Low tier and Dick picked you just to make fun of you, Lamau. Rekieta, you allegedly dosed your child with coke. Why let him rail your wife? April admittedly an upgrade. I am changing everything. Howard Cosell. I'll tell it how I see it. Stable change. Ethan Ralph, Vito the pedo pretends that he prays and says, I'll pray for you, buddy. And Ralph says, no, you'll suffer. And then Vito says, you burn bridge speedrun doesn't work on me, Ralph. And he says, okay, show up and I won't hurt you, fool. And then I think there's a part where he says that he's going to go to Dick's house. That might be coming up. Ralph says, I'm telling you, I love my son, but I came out here for an event. Don't play with me. 2022 LSD galore. And you shit on me in favor of Vito? Okay. I hope everyone is happy with their decisions. No, No, just no at the end. So I think Dax then on the next episode, because I think this happened right before the next recording happened, so I think he addresses this. Very rare do I play clips from his show on my stream, but I feel like this is the appropriate time.
And we have a podcast that we do. I don't think that me and you doing a podcast means that you guys can't also
Look. I'm doing real work.
Right.
Like I'm in the middle of the day doing real work.
Sure.
Actual, face to face, Zoom shit. Talking to my friend about his sister moving into a new place because her house burned down, and then I'm getting.
It's a bad time.
I'm getting texts about. So when do we do it? So when do we do it? And I'm like, you know what? What am I? I'm imagining like, is this just going to be another shit show? I'm picturing. What am I going to do? Is Rob going to try to kill himself on the show? Why am I having these thoughts? Why am I thinking about this at all?
Didn't he come over? What was it? Was it this summer or last summer?
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of he seemed like he was like kind of wavering on the the
precipice of death, the veil of death. Yeah,
it seems like his addiction struggles for some reason when he comes to California seem to really weigh heavily on him. Maybe it's the flight takes a lot out of him.
Me.
Maybe it's you.
People can't be around me.
I don't know.
Learned that. People get around me.
Well,
and
you did
start
ruin
short.
You turned Blowblax trans somehow with your cocaine.
Yeah. It's because I am the demon.
According to the fucking internet.
Very funny. My question to him on Twitter was, and I'll pull this up. I asked, okay, what did you do? He said, I said no, LOL. I said, did you not want him over because of the pregnancy or something? And then I added to make him feel confident in talking to me. Your secret is safe with me. I just gotta know. He then says, maybe a little bit. Ralph's got a serious problem. Me turning into the joke intervention would be more enabling than I'm comfortable with. And then I asked what he was on, and Dick did not really have any clue. So, I have a sneaking suspicion that what happened on the night that Marie took a gun and snuck into the basement while Dax was having an Ocular Rift goon sesh, and she put the gun to the back of his head and said, okay, buddy, we're going to have some changes around here. One of the things that she stipulated during this buck breaking was that there would be no more fucked up retards allowed in her house because she was now pregnant. Or ever again, because she would then have a child. So I think that was one of the things that made him reconsider having Ralph around. And Ralph is somebody who, as a person, has an immense, deep personal flaw. And I mean this sincerely when I say this. I think that Ralph's biggest personal flaw is that he has absolutely none whatsoever, no way to cope with any kind of stress. If anything happens that is adverse to him, he becomes a violent, psychotic retard. Flies off the handle, starts making things worse. Like, he has zero healthy coping mechanisms. He has extremely thin skin, some of the thinnest I've ever seen, and he has absolutely zero coping mechanisms that are not disastrous. Like, even Chris Chan, if you piss Chris off too much, he just ignores you. He just goes away. And that's like 1,000 times more healthy to certain extents than what Ralph does. He just has no way. So when Dick says you can't come over, he probably doesn't say why, but it's like, I'm busy and I got a pregnant wife or perma-girlfriend, sorry, not wife. I was like, I don't want you over. And he, of course, can't handle that. And Dick is still like a friend, so he takes that on Vito because he accurately says that Dick prefers Vito to him, because he does. He gets offended by that because it's worth being offended over. But still is like very slow to actually be mad at Dick himself because he values him so much. The next both Dick, or sorry, just Dick. No, I thought Vito also, but Dick blocked him. Just sad. I wish I could have blocked the dick up your ass. Now the dam has broken, and Milo Yiannopoulos, who just days ago planning to have an epic drug stream with Dax and Ethan Ralph on the Dick Show, then suddenly posts a picture of Dax drawn as a cow. If you don't know, Dick Masterson, also known as Dax Herrera, also sometimes goes by the name Juju the Cow, because according to the Simpspiracy messages with Jamie Lynn Hughes, he both like getting fucked in the ass and dressing as a cow, which has led me to consider that perhaps these things were related, and that he likes to get fucked in the ass while dressed as the cow, because that would make sense. It just makes sense to me. I feel like that's a pretty fair extrapolation to make. If you like getting fucked in the ass, and you consider dressing up as a cow to be a sexual fantasy, then it would only make sense that you get fucked in the ass while dressed as a cow. I think that's fair. I think it's a fair thing to assume. But Milo Yiannopoulos suddenly found that Juju posting was funny. This was a thing that Jesse had been doing for a while, but he started the Juju posting. He's the first vampire of Juju posting. He's patient zero, and now Milo has caught the bug and is now Juju posting. Ethan Ralph, as he does, wrote a diary entry on Zitter. Elon Musk gave him some characters, so he's going to use them. He says, fuck Harry Morris, obviously. He's a piece of shit. But he contacted Masterson early on when it was clear that I was spiraling, and I've been spiraling for a long time with spells of a good time, lol. He said, hey, this guy is a friend of yours. Don't you think you should talk to him and get him help? Dick was like, fuck off, Boomalooza. Stay out of Redacted's affairs. Not the time, Redacted, of course, being the horse. And at the time, I laughed very hard, but I don't think it's as funny anymore, since my life could be a lot different if he had. He's about the only one I would have listened to at that time. I think of that moment often. Obviously, I'm a grown man and I'm responsible for my own life at the end of the day, but the callous disregard, it's like he wanted the content instead of my physical and mental health. People have accused him of that before, but I didn't want to believe it. Even back then. Especially back then. Dick literally cares nothing about anyone's problems and sees them as an inconvenience at best. I'm a little bit selfish, to be sure, but this is on another level. Perspicacity finally talked me into rehab a couple days ago. I have some bookings this week, but I'll be out for at least 15 days next week and maybe 30, depending on their analysis and treatment. Thankfully, rehab is pretty cheap in Mexico, like $900. Perspic is like a motherfucker that pennies compared to America. Take your ass to rehab and stop making excuses about how much it's costing or missing work. So, I'm going to. I have some work to do first, though. It's nasty business. So, Perspicacity, the gunt guard of all gunt guards, the gunt licker of all gunt lickers, a man who lives, breathes, drinks, and imbibes with love the gunt grease, has talked Ethan Ralph into going to Mexican rehab. So I'll break this into two thoughts. First, him suddenly blaming Dick for not helping him. I feel like I did make that observation, and I feel like that's I feel like it's fair to criticize somebody like that for exploiting like an alcoholic just to like ack out of him. But I don't know. It's kind of weird for him to even point that out. Like, yeah, he's trying to be like Howard Stern. He like introduced you as like his top hoe and his whack pack. And he kept you around for that purpose so he could make content about you on his stream. He basically did what I do, but by like pretending to give a fuck about you. That's like his entire MO. And yeah, he is selfish. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I'm pretty sure there was a video, like a clip where someone was talking to him about like child molestation and like stopping like child groomers. And he's like, "Do you have kids? How many kids have you saved?" He's like, "Be concerned about your own kids before you start worrying about other people's kids getting molested." And it was about veto. This was his defensive veto. It's like, why do you care if other people's kids get molested? He's basically the personification of that Cobson Wojak thing where he's like pointing out the burning of Rome. And he's like, but how does this affect you personally? He's like that, but like a living human incarnate of that kind of fucking nihilism. So now Ralph is very, 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 very late to this observation. Good luck with that. Second part about going to rehab. So, as some people may know, for instance, Bossman Jack, rehab doesn't always work. From what I understand, as many people on the forum have issues with substances, if you can believe that. Rehab only works if you truly, genuinely want it to work. It does not work if you do not want it to work. You cannot force yourself. You cannot make arrangements to like trick yourself into. You cannot like begrudgingly agree to rehab. That's a waste of money. You have to truly and totally want it for yourself. So perspicacity being his motivating factor makes it dubious that this is something that he wants for himself. And what also makes it dubious that he wants it for himself is that he has nothing to live for. I know that sounds cold, but it's true. He has 2 children that he only sees out of spite. In fact, he actually only sees one of those children because he hates women so much that he won't see a little baby girl, even though he named it after his own mother. And Xander knows so little about him that there's not really a family bond there. So he doesn't, I mean, I guess for the kids he does, but okay, let me put it like this. From a personal day-to-day perspective, he really doesn't have that much to live for. Now, this is genuine advice. This is genuine advice. I'm being completely serious. And in fact, if Ralph wants to do this, I will actually go out of my way to help set this up for him. Ralph should take out a $1 million life insurance policy on himself, naming his 2 children as benefactors. And he needs to do this immediately because life insurance has a suicide clause in it that does not cover suicide for the first 2 years. So the sooner he does this, the better. He needs to take out life insurance on himself immediately because he is going to die. And he's probably going to die not from suicide, but from like drug problems within the next year. So that's what he needs to do. And he needs to set this up so that it's a trust and that they inherit it when it's when they turn 18. I think that Hardin can even set this up for you to establish a trust, and then Hardin can manage, if he's willing, can manage the funds, put it into like a S&P 500 for the next however many years for them to collect when they turn 18. But if I was Ralph, I would immediately get life insurance on myself for as much money as I could possibly afford, with the expectation that I would die in the next 5 years, because that's pretty safe to say. In fact, without Dick around and without really anything to go on, I would be surprised, honestly, at this point. It's a hard prediction to make. I think Ralph dies this year. His circle is so small, his income is so strained, his like reason to go on is so small, so like fading. I just can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine how somebody like Ralph, who is enabled too. He shows up on stream and people give him money, and then he can like a Percocet in Mexico is like $2, I think. You can get a lot of Percocet for $2. So I already called it. I called it on the forum, but yeah, I'm gonna say it on the stream. I think this is it where Ralph dies, because this is like crazy. I strongly, unironically recommend getting a trust set up and getting life insurance for the kids, if you give a fuck at all. I don't even know how much it would cost. I imagine for him it would be quite bad because he's in such terrible physical shape that he might have issues getting life insurance to begin with. If If you take meds like Ralph does, they deny you coverage. You know, 50K is pretty good, though. I would do that. He should take out literally whatever life insurance policy he can get. If he can get term life insurance for 5 years at a reasonable rate for $50,000, he should get that and set up the trust, because 25K in S&P 500, that's 10% per year compounding for the next 15, 16 years for them to inherit. That's pretty good. That's worth doing. I mean, if you give a fuck at all, immediately, emergency, set up this life insurance and trust. That's my thought. Time to die. That's right. Next, he did a goodbye video for him entering rehab. Holy shit, it's 10 minutes. Holy fuck. I'll read the message and then maybe play like a minute of this. This is long. Skip it and watch the video later if you want. First off, go to Sven Staffel's page and buy every single thing there. He's a great guy, and I'm sad I won't be able to fulfill my booking. I know he will come back, hopefully even as the first guest upon my return, if he's down. I went in for like a pre-screen at rehab, and they were astonished at my drug and alcohol history, including recent history. They wanted to take me in right away because of some markers, but I said I needed the day to get several things in order. I originally expected intake to be Saturday. I arranged to go at 6 tonight. I will record a farewell address in a bit. I want to order my thoughts and actually script something out, which I rarely do on video. Okay, let's watch this. Hopefully it's heartfelt, chat.
The kill stream is in its 10th year. I started this show with my ex-wife Nora and Janet Bloomfield in 2015. Never in my life did I think it would take me to where it has taken me to now, both good and bad. It started as a way to promote my writing and turned into my entire existence. Along the way, it has evolved, and it's had its eras and its different styles and various feuds, but one thing it's always had is me. I am the Killstream. I think most of you know I have a passion for professional wrestling. In wrestling, there's a term called living the gimmick. It's a pejorative term, not a positive one. I brought all the negative aspects you've seen me exhibit into this line of work, but over time, they were just incorporated into my online persona. The Ralph ML is a term someone came up with in 2018 as a joke, and I just ran with it. All the problems I have were simply written into the gimmick. Hard drinker? That's just the Ralph ML way. Do it on air and drink even more. Womanizer? Of course. No big deal. Write it into the story and lean into it. Criminal issues? Sure. Who cares? Fuck the police. Baby mama drama? All good. What are you, a bitch? Burnouts and vicious feuds with former friends and lovers? Fuck them. It's a nasty business and everyone is a snake anyway. Go scorched earth. Trust no bitch. You get the idea. This is not a healthy way to live life, although it has been quite entertaining. Rather than addressing shortcomings when I had many opportunities, I simply papered them over and reinvented things time and time again, including just this past week. In many ways, this has served me well and kept me in the game longer than I ever would have expected. It's also destroyed so many good things I gained along the road. Some people that I love will never return or speak to me again. Money gained and lost and gained again. A man in self-imposed exile in a nation where he doesn't even speak the language. I often look at my life and I wonder, how can it even be real? From West Memphis to Merida, this must be some kind of Truman Show thing going on. But what I really know is that it's all because of choices I have made myself along that road. Some choices end up being eternal, and that's something I never really accepted until I learned it the hard way. It turns out life is not professional wrestling, even if this business may be very similar. You just can't change the script or retcon decisions. You have to live with the mistakes you've made. Sometimes that can be almost...
Such as raping Alice, someone in the chat says. Allegedly. Yeah, he's dead. And I'm actually more convinced of it now than when I first said that, because I've watched like shows about drug rehab shit. And I noticed that a lot of people who went to rehab and came out actually died shortly after. And I think that what happens is that you go into rehab, you go in for 15, 30 days, you come out clean, and you come out with a reset tolerance of these drugs, or a reduced tolerance. And then you go back out and you have a little bit more money because you aren't buying drugs. And then when you fall off the wagon, you go on a bender that's even harder than originally. And then you die because your tolerance is less. You've got money for stuff. And you're like, well, you know what? If I'm off the wagon, I might go really off the wagon. What's the difference between 1 Xanny and 20 at this point? So, I think he's dead. Let's move along, chat. I got something to talk about Rekieta. This guy, I'm just giving him a shout out. Insanely Retarded came up with a very I didn't mean to click that. A very, very long timeline of all of this drama. He took this picture with this random couple. I don't know who the fuck these people are, but actually I'm gonna give this one the gooder sticker for his accomplishment. Oh, you can find this on the thread if you want like a full rundown of the Ralph stuff. And then Rekieta. But that's the gist of Ralph. He's going to rehab and then he dies. And then hopefully he'll take out life insurance before he dies. Rekieta has talked about his plea deal on live stream, and Patrick Melton, who was the guy where there was that 3-minute long supercut of him salivating over raping kids. For whatever reason, Rekieta really loves to hang out with people like Vito Gesualdi, who admits that he wants to have sex with children, who's also friends with Max Carson, who made songs about how he wants to fuck kids, and then Patrick Melton, who also has talked at length for years about how he wants to have sex with kids. Very weird ensemble of people, not necessarily my personal choice, but he's going through a rough patch. He joined this guy's stream, and he talked about what he wants to do for a plea deal. He says that he is pleading guilty in February, or I think it's on the 21st or 18th. I'm not sure when the plea deal is. I think it's probably by next stream, if I had to guess, or maybe by the end of the month. He's expecting to plead guilty and then be sentenced in February. So I think part of the deal is that the state is dropping their case against April Imholt. And I believe that due to the timing, the plea hearing on January 24th. Bro, that's fuck 11 a.m. Dude, that's exactly when my stream starts. We're resubmitting our media request to record that. I might have to get the fucking North Dakota guy out from sorry, out to record that. I need to talk to him actually, because we're getting our media requests in. It's because he's expected to plead guilty based off filings. It's a weird thing. In the state of Minnesota, you're not allowed to record a proceeding before someone's been found guilty. Or no pretrial hearings unless they're guilty. But he hasn't formally pled guilty yet, so there's like a special carve out where if they're expected to plead guilty, you can submit to record the plea hearing. If they're and then I guess if they plead innocent regardless, then you have to not retroactively not record it. So it's a weird thing, but I think we should get access. So I guess it'll be right on time for the stream to start if everything works out. That's 11 a.m. Central Standard, so I think is that an hour ahead or an hour behind? That'd be it. It would be directly at noon. Okay, great, wonderful, good timing. So they're dropping it against April, so they believe that's part of the plea hearing. He got her cut out of the prosecution. In the thing, by the way, he explicitly means he's taking a guilty plea. He talks about Aaron Imholt's money. He said that he hired an expert on cocaine drug testing. He says that he did this because he wants to see. This is weird that he wants to talk about like drug testing to like prove that he's innocent and didn't give his daughter cocaine. But couldn't use it in court for evidence. It's like, what a cop out. It might even be recounting, depending on what he's pleading guilty to. He says that he was bragging that he paid off his mortgage, but of course he paid off his mortgage because he fucking sold the other house. So that's it's not really paying off your mortgage. I mean, I guess it is technically, but it's not like a bragging right if you have to sell half your property to do it. If you have a $500,000 estate and you sell half of it to pay off the other half with that equity, then you didn't really pay it off. You just kind of downsized. But then he says, sorry, you don't know how to leverage debt. Yeah, not many people are like, he really thinks he's like the Donald Trump of like debt management. So I took my existing assets and I furloughed that into a HELOC of locked in a 0.5% interest rate for the next 30 years, super low payments, and then I furloughed that money into a cocaine trust account so I could access cocaine at the ready. It's like, you're not like a financial advisor, you're like a fucking junkie. And then implicitly blamed Aaron for his daughter testing positive for cocaine. Claims to have video evidence of cops touching his daughter's hair with contaminated gloves. I guess we'll find out, because once you're guilty, that shit's going into evidence. Do you think he put that into the plea deal, that all the body cam footage won't be released? Do you think that's how they got him to plead guilty? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have to sue to get the body cam footage. And then Nick cut off ties with one of his last gun guards, Spectre, the Spectre who pretended to be an attorney for some fucking reason. And then he got this cringe-ass tattoo of like a Japanese shit, and then tattooed Japanese dog shit on his fucking skin like a fucking retard. So if you're concerned at all that this man has in any way learned any lessons, he has not. He has not learned a single fucking thing. I imagine that he'll be back doing drugs on stream by the end of the year. maybe next year. Maybe it's a bit too early to say that. But he's not a fucking thing. Completely retarded. The umbrella guy says that he wants to arrange a boxing match between them. God, that's so fucking gay. I'm so sick of hearing. I don't ever want to hear the word boxing ever again. Like, anytime these people on the fucking internet bring up boxing, it's always the gayest fucking bullshit ever. It's super. And finally, of course, we have a Reddit segment. And here is our featured post. People clicking photos of nudity at the movies. And are mildly infuriating by aggravating Focus 90. So yesterday, my fiancé and I went to watch Nosferatu at the theater in Manitoba, Canada. It's a great film, and we were really enjoying it, until this one scene with a bit of nudity came up. Suddenly, there was this bright flash of light from the row behind us. I turned around, and lo and behold, a group of Indian guys. I know they were Indian because I am from India, and I speak the same language, had just taken a photo of the screen. They were giggling like school kids at boobs they thought they had successfully captured on their phone. Now here's the part that makes me furious. I'm an Indian immigrant here living in Canada. I've worked so hard to integrate into this culture and to contribute meaningfully to the country that's been so welcoming to me. But when stuff like this happens on a regular basis, it reinforces every negative stereotype about Indian men, and it makes my life harder for people like me. We're not all like this, but guess what? Everyone with brown skin gets painted with the same brush because of these idiots. The immature, disrespectful behavior isn't just embarrassing, it is infuriating. I wish people like this realize how much damage they do to all of us by trying to prove we belong here. It is exhausting. Sorry, Sahar. Sorry, Sahar. You will redeem. There are no good ones. I don't give a shit if you're the 0.001%. You will be redeemed. You'll be redeeming a flight back to Calcutta. That is just the way that it has to be, my good sir. Okay. And that's it. Now, as you might have noticed, I got the XMR chat integrated into the overlay. Super happy. I also fixed up the way that Rumble messages were working in the chat, how they look. So the next thing I want to do is get subscription showing up in the overlay. But I got a little bit of work done. Let's put us in the shill mode, and then I have a funny, it's AI, I think, the outro song, but it's topical and I like it. Okay, great. The need for $52, and I think I'm going to change it so that it shows the cryptocurrency amount and the money amount for these. He says, "Hi Josh, how can you send super chats through the mail? Mine haven't made it, and I'm not sure if the following the rules right. I'm okay with switching to XMR chat, but I think that USPS full stack for super chat is very funny. Danke, Znid. If you send in, oh shit. Let me finish this, and then I'm going back. Wait, don't leave. I have a Bossman segment. Znid, if you want to send in a money order and then put your super chat on the memo, I will plug it in when I get it. But it's literally as I get it. And the post guy, he will, he checks it every so often, but it's not like a set routine. Okay, sorry. The super chat segment is over because we have breaking content that I need to slot in immediately. Can't believe I almost forgot. Thankfully, chat reminded me by spamming rat emojis. The true heroes of my stream. Don't worry, this will be brief if you don't like Bossman. This is what? How did he accomplish this? Okay, there we go. I don't know how the fuck I opened the first thread on the site, but Louisa, Virginia, January 17th, 2025. He appeared in the Louisa County Juvenile and Domestic Court. So this is only for the domestic court. Facing one count of violation of community-based probation stemming from his arrest for domestic violence. For the charge of misdemeanor violence of community-based probation for his repeated failed drug test. And he was sentenced to 90 days in jail, 90 days suspended. And then for the second charge of the actual assault and battery of a family member from when he hit Boss Dad, or Rat Dad, rather, on October 19th, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail, 3 months suspended. It's unknown if he'll get credit towards those 3 remaining months. And this is only from the domestic court. The domestic case is now settled, but he has his felony cocaine possession or crack possession charge and various probation bond failures on that. So I'm thinking in total, he's probably going to get over a year. He might even get more than that. And one of the probation things that he hadn't finished was from a long time ago, I think for the carjacking stuff. And that was like a 5-year suspended sentence that he was on. So he might get like all of that rolled up. It might be like a 5-year sentence. So he just can't catch a break. Can't catch a break, chat. He didn't do anything. Sure, he broke into cars. Sure, he did lots of drugs. Sure, he violently abused his own family that was taking care of him. But he was very, very funny, chat. And we need to learn as a society that when funny people do really horrific things, it doesn't count because it's funny, chat. That's how it works. Free my easy. Free my easy, Bossman. The Gulag Arpeggio for $1 says, I'm not sure if those Monero super chats available at all time were such a great idea now. Because Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator, can super chat whenever he gets drunk and has a silly idea for a message. Actually, that's the best way to super chat. Don't you worry. Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator for $5.51 says, yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited goon works. Oh no, I read these backwards. Sorry. Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator for $5.50 says, glorious Kiwi Emperor, I am the bone of my bone. Smegma is my body and baby oil is my blood. I have cranked it over 1,000 anime. Unknown to NoFap, nor known to 3D PD, which is 3D pig disgusting. It's what anime people call women. Have withstood chafing to create mini cummies. That's very gross. I can't believe you paid to read that. Cola for one says, one more test, and Cola for one says, Sneed integration test. He was testing his own integration, but mine's better. Just kidding. No, really, I did the best job. That's because I can't blame him. I tried to do what he did at first, and then I just contacted them and said, like, look, the tools available to me suck. So they just told me, like, the secret API access points to get the information I needed. So I just did that. So he did the best that he could without reaching out for help. Bunker Housing for 5 says, mana, I need mana. Sorry, I need to, like, bass boost my microphone. Hold up. Can I, like, noise suppression? Nah, sorry, I was gonna like crank my bass up. I don't actually, you know what? Hold up. Let's do 3-band equalizer. Put this way up at the top. Yeah. And then here, okay. Mana. I need mana. How did that sound, chat? Was that accurate? Did I sound like I'm a professional streamer, podcast producer? Was that correct? Great, wonderful. I'm happy to happy to help. I'm always looking for ways to improve, chat. Thank you. Brew for Scooper for 10 says, I love your stream. Shout out to the Josh Core thread. It could use some more action. And then they link to the Josh Core thread. So let's see what kind of action we can get. I'll just play like a second of it. Sailor Moon. Okay, don't want to play JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Neon Genesis Evangelion, or Sailor Moon. Obviously Sailor Moon, I think.
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight. Never
This makes me sound
running from
retarded.
A real fight. He is the one named Sailor Moon.
I feel like you used a cover of this by like a retarded person and then like vocoded it to my voice. Because it does capture like an extreme level of autism, and I don't believe that you actually got that from a computer without using like a really bad cover of it. Very nice. Meet Spaceman for $3 says, I can't watch live this week, but I wanted to continue some XMR your way. Keep fighting the good fight, my neighbor. Thank you, Meet Spaceman. I appreciate the Monero shekel. Dave87890, which I think is different than usual, says, hey Josh, did you know that Half-Life 2 20-year anniversary Valve DEI G-Man? What? Don't tell me that. I'm not mentally prepared for this. No. Oh.
Joe Biden, 9/11. Today's same day. What happened 2001. This is Wally POK, Hanakin, Actual Pacheco, Texas, USA. 24/7 every day. I'm wake up in USA.
I had the original G-Man speech. I never finished. I don't think I played as a kid Half-Life 2. But I had that sequence as my alarm clock, like that for when I was still going to school. That's how I would wake up. I'd be like, wake up, man. That like really loud, clanging, like industrial sound at the beginning. It's like wow, wow.
Biden.
That was like a trigger thing when I heard that. I was like, ah, not my alarm clock. Humble Guardsman for 14 says Galango. Okay, let's see.
Galanga.
Okay. Thank you. The uncredited for 2 says Peak Peaks. I get referencing Stephen Lynch. R.I.P. George Droid for 5 says the Chick-fil-A fries have gone to shit. This country is so over, bros. I heard. I haven't been to Chick-fil-A in a while. Maybe I will get Chick-fil-A. I have to go see if their fries suck now. I just have to know. Thank you. Testing XMR chat for 5 says Sneed. Have a nice weekend, Josh, and all Manny viewers. Thank you, Testing XMR chat. It worked. Ilanthea for 10 says, here's your Josh Bucks, dude. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you very much. Real Adonai for 5 says, hey, Josh, can you think of anything redeemable about India or its culture? I don't want to say this without, because I don't really know that much about India. Like India is like France to me, in that there is like a negative modifier to how much I am curious to learn about it. Like I've never ever been interested in France or its history or its culture. I really can't tell you that much about it, except where I got into wars with Germany. Those things interest me, but outside of that, I don't really care about France. India is basically the same. I have like a negative interest in anything regarding India. I will say that I like how at least certain religious communities in India are very kind to animals. I'm sure that there are many horrific videos of Indian people being absolutely awful to animals. But I do think that's cute, how they keep cows as pets like dogs, and the people that really believe in reincarnation try not to even hurt ants and stuff. I like that. I'll say that's redeemable about them. Is that they hurt dogs? The rat temple? Taoism. I'm sure it's only certain communities that are like super particular about animal rights and stuff, but for those certain communities, that's quite nice. I like that. I also like, I will say this. I like how Sikhism is basically just a cult devoted to hating Islam. That's pretty fucking based. I don't know if I'd want them in my country, but I like how they have like their equivalent of the Second Amendment, which is like you always have to carry your Sikh dagger on you at all times because you never know when a Muslim terrorist might like start trying to Allah Akbar you, so you have to be prepared to stab them in the fucking throat whenever it happens. That's kind of awesome. I do like that. I enjoy those two things, and the animal rights people in India and the people that are always prepared to defeat a Muslim terrorist whenever the cause may come to them. Bunker Housing for 2 says, federal level, I demand a global level with option on galactic level. We are going to build the greatest space elevator that mankind could have ever thought of. We are going to stack Indian people on top of each other from here to Mars. And when Elon Musk, praise be his glorious name, when Elon Musk wants to send things to Mars, we will simply lift the object one on top of the other all the way to Mars. And that is how India is going to colonize Mars first under the rule of Elon Musk. Sir Elon Musk. That's the future, chat. The needful will be done. That's right. David Lynch for 2 says, I can't believe Ralph snubbed you in his goodbye speech. Shameful. I mean, if anyone gets credit for helping Ralph, it would be me. I've helped Ralph more than anybody. Sneedo for 1 says, Kingle's buffalo chicken cubes. He's not that funny. That does sound tasty, though. Ballistic Characteristic for $50 says, congratulations on taking another step in your strange and noble journey. Thank you. I actually really appreciate that. Sneedo for 1 says, Josh is going to slash the tires of anime wrapped cars. Oh, you fucking bet. If I see an anime bumper sticker, you're not going nowhere. You're going to be even more of a basement dweller. Patrick S. Tomlinson Child says, for $20, on Monero chat, actually, idea for a new Maddie segment, and then it's a YouTube link.
תלמיד ישיבה הולך עם תספורת מעליות. זה תספורת של גוי או של יהודי? גוי. תספורת שוקו-וניל. זה יהודי או גוי? גוי. בלורית זה תספורת של יהודי או גוי? גוי. מכנסיים. צמודים כמו נקניקיה מסלוסי. זה גוי או יהודי? זה גוי. שתי מקלות של מטאטא של סנוקר הולכות. אדם גנב! אדם גנב!
מה יש לך? למה את בוכה? אין לי מושג.
אני לא מנסה. אוי, מה יש לך? גרביונים עם כוכבים. שמעתם? פעם כוכבים חשבתי רק בשמיים. הם ירדו לגרביונים. משקה חדש יצא. פסיפלורה משוגעת. ראשי תיבות פסיכי מטומטם. גימטריה אהבל. יש כאלה צועקים.
He cites gematria and starts screaming at WhatsApp. This guy's actually very funny. He's very obviously in on how silly it is. I like that, actually. Thank you. Euclid Sneed for 5 says, it's Zuck time. That's right, baby. Zuck is on the up and up. It's going to be Zuck here in a second. Swatsville Null for 10 says, the cat hates 3 things: vacuums, other cats, and black people. Bro, that's not cool, man. You gotta teach him to respect the African-American community. Thank you. David S877 for 27 says, I assume you'll be sharing the public parts of the charity docs and how to donate once you get all that set up. Yes, I'm going to try to reach out to a banking thing, and if that doesn't work, we might try a couple other banking things, but I think that because it's a foundation and there's 3 people on board and one of them's a lawyer and we have another lawyer that's willing to help, I don't actually suspect that the banks will fuck around as much. Because if they do, we're suing the fuck out of them. Thank you. Dr. Coffin Nails for 10 says, trust me, you'll like this one. Lyric starts at 16 seconds. I guess we're doing YouTube videos today. You can thank Elon Musk for getting his Starlink fucking working. Bro.
Words that I can't say. All the stupid rules are fucking gay. I'm listening to my favorite rap song, and I just wanna sing along, nigga. I feel like saying nigga today. Oh yeah. I feel
This one struck a chord. People keep sending it to me. It's quite nice. It's AI though. It's pretty good for AI. Thank you. Bunker Housing for 2 says Tencent also owns Oxygen Not Included. Like, I played that game very briefly and I get super bored of it after a little while. I don't know. I just didn't see the end game is very fun. And the eating sounds, oh my god. They have this thing where it's like the characters have to eat constantly, and when they do, it's the most annoying fucking sound in the world. It's like deliberately designed to piss me off so I can't play. Helvani Mage, for one, says, but Josh, David Lynch signed, I keep calling him Stephen Lynch. Stephen Lynch. Stephen Lynch is somebody else. David Lynch signed the Roman Polanski petition. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Colidante for 5 says, what did we learn from our years of spying on American TikTok users young? Americans are gay. True. Very based. Mark Zuckenfuck for 1 says, hey Josh, what do you think of NRL 339 logo? Oh, I've seen this. It's a very curious logo because usually the octopus reaching around the world and interfering and stuff, which is a long-standing icon, like people associate it with like Nazi art about Zionism and stuff. But the whole octopus tentacle thing has been like a meme in political cartoons for hundreds of years. But it's almost always a negative thing. So it is kind of curious to see them like directly drawing this tentacle, like the one tentacle that's touching the earth that we can see is directly coming from the United States and like interfering in like Central Asia and Russia and China. It is very on the nose. I would not be surprised if they change this at some point. Because it's like the totem cop, where it's like, this is like an icon that is traditionally associated with like menace and wrongdoing. So it is an interesting thing to choose to represent yourself. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator for 5 says, glorious Kiwi Emperor, you should read the XMR chats first, since they are your smartest crypto-owning samurai. Well, Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator, you didn't know when you sent this, but I actually got it working sorted by date and integrated fully into the dashboard now. Very cool. Pentard for 10 says, just to let you know, your mid-end part of the stream aligns with my sauna times. I'll protest your shit stream times by throwing my neat bucks at you. You'll know in every stream there's a naked Finn moist with sweat watching and listening to you. Why the fuck would that not be ideal, though? Like, you're in a hot room. What else are you doing? Just like enjoy the sauna and listen to a podcast. That sounds like the accurate way to enjoy a sauna. Thank you. Sneedo for 1 says, what an ugly keck mutt. I have to watch myself. I keep getting banned. Referring to the child pornographer, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is pretty gubbly, no Max. Logistical Nightmare for 10 says, Elon should pay homage to Maddie and its lead correspondent by calling TikTok X Hamster. I'm sure that goes by channeling the news hamster and he'll be able to make so much money off the platform. I think my joke was funnier. I'm going to say it. Sorry to disappoint. I think I did it better. Thank you. Stephen Rith for 1 says, oh no, not Pewd's favorite anime. Is that really his favorite anime? Cringe. SG Twizzard Fist, or Sergeant Wizard Fist, sorry. For 5 says, while you were away, my cousin's fiance saw that fat Canadian girl you used to talk about and she dined and dashed with her friends. Sorry, I can't remember her name and I'm at work. Chantal, bro. You should have gotten a picture of her. If she got a picture of her, send it to me. Sino for 1 says, the commentary community is her prostate community. Yeah, that's pretty true. They're going to man up now. Now that it's safe to do so, they'll start being more problematic or whatever the fuck, but it's too late. Always remember those who lived on their knees, chat. Romberger for 2 says, you forget to show the hamster your segments fucking blow, Mr. Juice. Rude. I try my best. Bunker Housing for 2 says, maybe that fat lesbian fire chief can carry those tortoises to safety. To be fair, you know, I like to play devil's advocate, chat. The fat lesbian fire chief that said, if I have to save you from a burning building, you really messed up or whatever. She worked in administration. Like, her joke was not that she's not going to save people. Her joke was that if she, as like an administrator bureaucrat in the fire department, is having to pull you out of a burning building, you're really fucked up because that's not her fucking job. Which is kind of funny. It's funny both the actual context of what she's saying. Like, it's actually a funny joke. And it's also funny how people interpreted that to mean that she's like the one that has to save you, and then that she's just gonna let your ass burn to death. That's peak clown world, both ways. Arendil, for one, says, is there any update to the talk to staff request to upload the JonTron video taken down for copyright for archival purposes? Hasn't been answered for a month. I cannot make a determination of if you think that a video should be uploaded to the forum or not, because you are the one saying that you have the right to publish that video. If you think that you can provide fair use commentary to justify a whole archive for the video, then maybe you should post it if you feel that you have sufficient right and purpose to do so. I am not going to tell you that I, on behalf of the Kiwi Farms, think that you can do something, because I am not going to assume liability for what you post. I hope that has made that clearer. Bunker Housing for 5 says, I want to know your assessment. Who hates their leader the most? More Russian people hate Putin or more US people hate Trump? Who has the higher percent? I'm pretty sure in Russia's popularity polls, Putin has like a 98% approval rating or some shit. Like 90+%. So definitely in America. Care04 for 4 says, for the last few years, every time I'm in the post office, someone in line with me lets me know they want to abolish the USPS and bemoan postal pensions. Left, right, young, old, I do not get it. Yeah, I don't fucking get it. I guess because the post office fucks up sometimes, that like, let's abolish the post office. Like, this really important thing that all of our country relies on every fucking day is beleaguered, so let's cut their funding even more. I don't get it. Koi Dante for 10 says, H1B workers are so industrious, they will never even play your video games for you. Yeah, exactly. That's how much he loves them. By the way, I didn't even mention this when I was ranting about the protection money that we pay. One of the things that I was thinking about in regards to this was how the reason why Vivek and Elon want H1B visas is because, unlike everybody else in the country, if they stop working, they get deported. So, like, that's actual consequences. You can't rely on someone working for no money and not just quit because they really don't have any reason to stay employed besides pride. In India, number one, they make more money in the U.S. than they would in India for even like bullshit jobs like janitorism or janitorial work, custodial work. And then also, if they quit or get fired, they have to be deported. So there's like two things that you can hold over their head to coerce them into being your slave boy. Thank you. Haramburger Patu says, I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the USPS, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on FedEx and have over 300 confirmed deliveries. You're nothing to me but another mailbox. Bro, support the post office, okay? Sergeant Wizard Fist for 5 says, Piratesoftware got into some drama with some other subhuman Twitch streamers, and now my coworkers are telling me about Kiwi Farm since they looked him up and found his thread. Fucking based, actually. Banana Plugs for 2 says, Happy Pizza Day, Josh. You're my favorite non-Slav always. How's your day look now? Congrats on the nonprofit. Lewis has both the C3 and C4. Don't know why. Because there are tax benefits to that. It helps that people can donate to your nonprofit side, but for activism, you need the 501c4. So there is some merit to that, and if it becomes advantageous to us tax-wise to have a nonprofit and for-profit division, we can do that. Wikimedia, I think, even has that, so that's pretty common. Red Eyes Black Dragon for 10 says, you need to buy one of these. And then there is... this.
Microsoft has brought George Floyd back to life. 50 years of fentanyl research have given us the first AI-integrated, fully sentient nigga bot with 6 million nigga hertz per negro second processing speeds, pregnant women detection software, hyper-strengthened carbon fiber neck upgrades, counterfeit money printer with direct auto buys into Floyd AI coin on Solana, perfected 3-point jump shot integration with a NeuroFlex data hustle chip.
Are you fucking crazy? You're gonna make him too powerful.
Galaxy gas plasma burners, gang sign translating software, Fent reactor mining cryptocurrency while you sleep. He is the only AI nigga bot capable of driving a Dodge Hellcat while shooting full auto Glocks. This cyborg nigga is not to be fucked with. Microsoft has brought George
That's
Floyd...
pretty base. Finally, AI is developing into things that are useful. And also cryptocurrency. useful at last. Billy Dante for 10 says, Piratesoftware has the YMS phenotype and is also a furry. Is there a phrenological connection with zoophilia? It's very possible. Is he Canadian? That might be a bigger indicator. Thank you. Verdier for 2 says, Blizzard has set up a precedent of restoring hardcore characters if they die due to dickishness and publicity. Who cares? It's all gay and fake. Yeah, that's pretty... it compromises the entire thing. Diablo said, like, explicitly that we'll never, ever, ever, for any reason, ever restore your character, even if it's completely our fault. Path of Exile 2. From the Sauna for 2 says that Piratesoftware guy is a massive faggot and against pirating. Got banned from his Twitch stream for using ad blocker. Compared it to me pirating his stream. I thought he was like pro piracy. Now I have no reason to like him whatsoever. I hope the fucking World of Warcraft people like leave him bloody and bruised in a metaphorical sense. What a fact. The Ghost of Lotax, for 1, says, I still find it funny that the only unambiguously moral good character in life is Strange franchise's Kate, the white conservative Christian girl from the first game, who kills herself because she gets bullied to death. That's true. Spingle Cat, for 2, says, it's funny seeing the Gab fags, Roy per fags, and the Baroque mutt line see the king at the Kiwi Farms in this tweet. Is this the... Yeah. Dude... People fucking hate us so much. Like, we piss off all sides equally. But this was in reply to the Stone Toss comic, and I actually got quite a few likes just being a little reply. It was very nice. I appreciate the shout out, the support, and of course all the angry Capway cunning groypers being mad at me. Insensitive Zero for 5 says, nab this from Chud Logic's Twitter, and then there's a tweet. Okay. The Piratesoftware, the Brown, Wall of Text, Balrog, fly, you fools, and then Gandalf just yeets the fuck out of there. I got you. It's like if Gandalf was a coward because he was a cucaracha. They even made his coat brown, like a cockroach wings. Bunker Housing for 2 says, don't forget Greer, all that legal mumble jumbo, I very unclear. Is he paying you now? What happened to the federal witness tampering? Did you not initial owe him $255? I'll save this for another stream, maybe next week, because I went... Basically, during discovery... So, during judgments for certain things, the judge considers the plaintiff's ability to pay judgments. If you can't pay a judgment, then the judgment is adjusted sometimes so that it can be something that you can pay, so that the penalty is fair. So when Melinda Scott was found guilty, or not guilty, but sanctioned in court, he was ordered to pay $40 because she's completely destitute. And he said that that would be fair as terms of a punishment. In discovery, the rules are different. There is no consideration for how much you can pay. So if you waste an attorney's time in discovery, you automatically, and the rule says shall issue. So it's not even like up to the judge. If these certain conditions are met, the judge shall issue sanctions, and the sanctions shall be what is fair to the attorney, not what is fair to the person who is found sanctionable. So Greer deliberately ran around and broke discovery rules in our case, and the judge has found him liable for sanctions. So now Hardin is to submit what he believes would be fair compensation for his billable hours, and the judge will then decide how much to actually put Greer in for. And if it's several $1,000s, it shifts the dynamic of the lawsuit enormously, because Greer is very money driven. Like, for instance, I don't want to talk about that actually. I'll wait until the judgment and I'll discuss a little bit more. Employee Manjack for 2 says, thanks for the stream, Jersh. Great background content while I work repairing my old shitbox truck. Well, good luck with that. I know it's a pain in the ass. IRS for 1 says, Monero is tax-free, bish. It is not. It is fucking not. You have to report that shit. Okay, I do report it. Moksh Dev Chandrama for 669 says, Saab, please, I am fucking Indian. I was mass reported by bastard bench node whites. I am... Wait, Binchod. By fucking bastard Binchod whites. I am Indian. Please help me, sir. Please help me. I'm Indian. Please help me. Thank you. Blurp Loop for 10 says, thank you for following through and making foundation. You're welcome. Happy to help. Colexes for 5 says cheese. Thank you. I appreciate it. Blurp Bloop for 1 says send the man from the Dakotas. Oh wait, no, that's not supposed to be Indian. I just assumed because it was all caps. I will. Blurp Bloop for 1 says cheese pizza ? No, I like hollandaise sauce and ground beef and jalapenos, of course. Coyadante for 10 says imagine when those Indian guys in the cinema find out they can Google big boob on that phone. I think the act of perversion is what excites them. Thank you. Blurp Bloop for 1 says if you admit that it happens on a regular basis, then that stereotype, like all stereotypes, is justified. True and base. Yats for 484 says, cheers, my neighbor. Thank you, Yats. I appreciate it. Rich Wet Pasta for 10 says, excellent stream. Very professional voice EQ. Happy to help. I'm glad. Always happy to improve. The president of Nintendo for 2 says, I couldn't listen live, but I listened to the stream later while eating a bowl of chili. Shout out to my fellow chili enjoyers. Enjoy your chili, Sar. Thank you. Romberger for 2 says, do today's Wordle. I've been watching the autism in the forum thread, and all anyone posts are green and yellow boxes that barely interact. If you fail, you must squash. Ew. It's gross. I'm tempted not to, because that's fucking gross. I will do that at the very, very end. Rich What Pasta for 1 says, shit, bad comment in the last one. No, I figured it out, don't worry. President Nintendo for 2 says, I need your advice. I saw your System Shock meme in the Maddie thread. Is that game worth playing? I've never played System Shock. I'm sorry. I do like that song, and I like that meme, though. I heard it's very, very good, though. Blorp Bloop for 1 says, in the name of the moon, I will punish you, anchor ship moon. That's a reference to an anime. I've never watched Sailor Moon. Anime Extremist for 2 says, weird question. Do you agree with the concept of public juries? Or do you think that they should be professional, like appointed judges? Should there be multiple judges in court? Public juries are one of the only saving graces of the entire United States. I think that actually we should have juries for more shit, to be quite honest with you. Bunker Housing for 2 says, maybe you can pay a Chinese man to play Oxygen Not Included for you. I hear that is the latest thing. I heard too. I think that all the cool kids are doing it. Wordier for 5 says, $6. Fuck, I can't read. I don't know what that's a reference to. Insensitive Zero for 10 says, old funny Piratesoftware video for stream. Okay. Rose. So many fucking... I'm never going to be able to stop.
Guys.
Oh, no. Who pulled the ocular?
So one of you pulled the ocular.
What the fuck does that mean?
Why? Now half the raid is dead. Was there a reason for that? Oh, I swear to God, I'm going to go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit. You have to be better than that. One of you attacked an Oculus and just wiped the whole party. For no reason. And we just lost all of those materials.
What game is this?
Because you're not paying attention. This is basic shit. We are not pulling those Oculuses because they killed the raid. We're pulling only the humanoids that are dropping the actual gear. Basic. I've been talking about this the whole time. What does pull an Oculus mean? There is an enemy called Oculus. If you pull it, it does a conal effect that kills everyone looking at it. Which is exactly what just happened. Because somebody pulled it when you're not supposed to. And I don't know why they did this, because they've been told not to do that. But they were tab targeting and just pulled the damn thing. But seriously, if we have that kind of a mistake again, I'm disbanding the party. I'm going to go run with other people. Because you guys cannot do that again. That is insane shit. Legitimately. There's no reason for that. When I say the whole group is moving forward, that means you are not pulling shit from behind us. This is very, very basic. I'm not even being a dick about this.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying listening to him talk. It's like the Leeroy. It's like it's like the nerds in the Leeroy Jenkins video that they're making fun of. Like that's that character. Thank you. Bossman Jack for prison for 2 says, fuck Baldur's Gate and the log fags. Free me, nigga. I agree. Free my man, Bossman Jack. Anime Extremist for 2 says, do you believe in karma? I don't believe in it this life, but probably when one dies and gets brought to the next, there's a karmic aspect. At least that's what I think about you. No, I don't. I don't believe in any kind of karma like that. I just don't. Man Who Must Let for 14 says, David's down in Hades huffing and cussing his ass off with our Man Who Must Be Let boy Frank Booth. We'll all go for a ride with him eventually. Maybe not you though, Josh. You're pretty good, Nabo. I mean, rip David Lynch. I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm sorry. Thank you. From the Porch for 2 says, the reason why he's called Piratesoftware and he has company with that name is because people will find him if they search pirating stuff. So he's an extra big faggot. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cringe, actually. If that's the real reason, that's extra fucking cringe. I guess he can't support piracy because it's like against Twitch TOS. What a fag. Well, Dante for 10 says, I found the best possible cheese, and then there is something about portobello mushroom and chive. Fuck you. Wow, it's Daisy for 5 says, Josh, do you have a story of seeing a ghost or know anyone who personally has? No. Last super chat, and then I'm doing the Wordle, and then I'm done. My ghost story is when I lived in Buffalo, I was having to help rent out the apartment for when I left, and this big black guy, like this enormous fucking black guy walks in, and we were kind of near like a cemetery, so he asked like, hey, yo, what boy? It was like him and his wife, and he's like, what boy? And it's like enormous. I'm talking like 6'7", like his hands are like catcher mitts, and he's like, have you seen any ghost here? And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm psychic sensitive to the extraterrestrial world, and I'm sensitive to like ghosts. And I'm like dead serious. Like a 35-year-old military veteran. He's like in those the really shitty like camo that they had out for a while. He was in one of those, like just enormous guy, like 300 pounds, absolute unit, asking me in earnest if the place was haunted because he's afraid of ghosts. And I was like, well, I had always heard that cemeteries are, and he's like, well, I'm right next to a cemetery, and this is like an old house. And I'm like, well, I've always heard that cemeteries are like the least haunted because like the souls are put to rest. Like, oh man, they fucking haunted as shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I told him, no, honestly, like no light flickering, no weird sounds. Like it was an old house, but it was in really good shape. There was no suspicions, anything. And it actually seemed to put his mind at ease. So that's the closest thing I have to a ghost story. Okay, so Wordle. I want to play. Hit him up with that Sneed first off. SE. Not so probably an ES word like XXXES. Holes. Pretty good. So ES is not at the end. I should have known that too, because I think that second E would have been yellow. I wonder if it's like an SE? Probably something like PXX. Rose? Oh my god. You hit him with that Sneed. Bam! You got 2. You hit him with that Polish respect. Bam! Bam! And then you hit him with the pros. That's in 3, baby. That's in 3. My master, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, great. That's the stream. Thank you for watching. I have a special little meme song for the outro. I will see you guys next Friday. Stay busy. Be more productive and more useful than Liz Fong Jones. As always, every week. Thanks for joining. Appreciate the big numbers today. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Some of the best moments that I've had inside of dungeons are because, oh shit, we're all going to die if we don't execute this perfectly. And we hardened up at that moment, we kicked some ass, and we got to live.
Pirate Roach, the master of flight, gone in a blink, out of our sight. While we held the line, you ran for the door, showed your true colors, a roach to the core. Monologue, yeah, that's your excuse, but you had the gem you refused to use. Ice buried her up while the group went down. You ran like a coward, a selfish clown. Oh, you blinked away, didn't even try. Watched us struggle, watched us die. Every cooldown spent just saving you. You're the king of roaches, yeah, it's true. You're a roach in the dark, scattering fast, leaving your team will never last. Blinking away, you're gone, no doubt. When things get tough, you're roaching out. Oh, roaching, that's your game. Saving yourself, yeah, it's such a shame. No spine to fight, no helping out. And when we needed you, you roached out. You shout, X-Blizzard like it makes you a star. Hacker for the feds, that's a stretch too far. Your stories unravel with every line. Truth not your specialty, but roaching's fine. While the tank stood firm and the healer fell, you just blinked away like, oh well. Could have cast Frost Nova, but you ran. Watched us die, didn't give a damn. You wasted your mana, we all saw it clear. Blink forever